Struck do it or they can come off in sheets. They can come off in sheets sometimes.
My daughter tells me.
Emotions count.
Morning. How are you? Can you hear now?
Yeah.
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 You can sit there and smile. Yeah, we like that. So you see his head like that. That's what it's supposed to go in. So I think Ashley will probably. Yeah, Ashley will.
I don't know. I really don't do this.
Well, Ashley as well. And then if you're my like full. So, yep. So I just did one for one.
How about yourself?
Adjustments to get it back. And I didn't know that there was no minutes for the jail tours, if you want to make those, or have to add those in.
No, I mean, there was a couple of other ad hoc ones I heard.
Was I interviewing them later on? I guess yeah.
I don't think he's.
I thought he was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's 8:30, we're calling meeting to order, property committee. First thing on the agenda is minutes to November 10th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion made to approve minutes to November 10th by Jerry, seconded by Terry. Any questions on it? If not, all those in favor signify by aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, I guess the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna move to the sheriff's office. Review squad car bids and approve purchase of police squad car. And then, we also want, Cash's report at the very end, so. Okay, we got the sheriff's office.
Okay. First of all, thanks for letting us move up. We have a 9 o'clock meeting. We gotta, yeah. These are the bids that we wanted back in August. Bill was able to finally get them, middle of last week. And so we're coming here prior to our committee. I did speak to Mark Schmidt and let him know that we wanted to bring it here, get them approved so that we can get them ordered instead of waiting till, January to come back here. And he was okay with that, so. What we're looking for is to replace a patrol truck. Which really the only bid we got on that was a Ram SSV. It is a 2023, but it is new for $39,529. The only bid we got on that, correct?
Which one is that?
That's the Ram SSV.
Very top one.
Very first one.
Right.
That was the only bid we got, and that was from Don Johnson. The other pickup is Investigator, and we brought the F-150, the F-250, a Ram 1500, a Ram 2500, because, you guys had mentioned something about us getting a 3/4 ton instead of a half ton, for future use. Is that something that you're interested in us doing, or you?
I think it would make sense, cause they eventually end up in the fleet.
I mean,
I
so,
mean, it's a little extra money, but
well, it ain't terrible. I thought it would be way more than what it is.
$4,000 or so.
$4,000 ain't bad to go to 3/4 ton, so if you're looking at 3/4 ton, it would be the Ford at $52,305, or the Ram at $53,559.
Just so you guys know too, the specs on all these trucks are crew cab, regular box.
Big short box, right? Not,
Short, not long.
okay.
Not the 8-foot box.
And they're, all the specs on the work trucks, I'm sorry, on all these trucks is just one step up from a work truck. So it actually has power windows and power locks and stuff.
So it'd be the XL, probably the XL.
I don't consider that excessive.
In reality, if you want roll-down windows, you gotta order them that way. You can't get the hand.
They probably charge
You
you
have to
more
order
for
that.
that.
So, and then, the two interceptors that we're replacing, we got two bids on that, one from Courtesy at $44,970 and Toyson for $43,182.
Is it the same as Johnson now?
No, Tungsten still has the Ford dealership in Chippewa.
But Johnson does carry everything, they just can't do state bids on certain things. Only certain places can do state bids, I guess. That's what we call them, right? So that's what we got, so I guess we would like to go with, Toyson on the interceptors at $43,182. And, the Ram SSD for the patrol truck, and then, Johnson with the F-250 for $52,305.
And it was two of the interceptors?
Yes.
You're saying
You
you
get
want,
4 vehicles? 4.
Yeah.
For our 5-year rotation, we're gonna do it 4 this year.
you're saying, so there's a line here for the Courtesy for the Interceptor, and a line here for Tyson, you want both of these replaced for both of these?
Yeah. Why I did 2 lanes for interceptor, I don't know.
Swamp Graver's on there too, you can see on the far right. I called them 3 weeks ago, and I talked to their fleet sales guy. Told him I needed bids, he said, shoot me an email, tell me exactly what you want, I'll get right on it. I sent him an email, it's been crickets. Ewald, who historically always has the cheapest bids, I've emailed her 3 times and actually talked to her on the phone twice. And the very last time I talked to her was the week before November, and she said, I'll get right on it. And I haven't heard from her.
So you're looking at, the F-250, 2 of them?
One of them, and then the Ram SSD, because that's a patrol vehicle.
I think the one circled in two of the,
Well, you said you
What's
want
the
4
SSD?
vehicles.
Right, so 2 of the interceptors, I
Oh,
thought,
2 of them,
yep, and
Oh.
then,
that's what I was saying, didn't understand them. Oh. Is this all gonna come out of the car fleet, or whatever it's called? That one? Balance of it?
well, the cash balance is basically 0. We haven't charged out any of the fourth quarter yet, we just do that quarterly, so. But there's fund balance in there. Well, it'll get floated from the general fund. Cash side of it.
Then reimbursed for that,
Yeah, it's an internal,
right?
yeah.
Any more discussion on
Hey,
it?
we get 4 cars now, how many you want next year?
I'm gonna get my laptop, I have the card for 5-year rotation.
So basically, you're looking for 3 cars for next year, right?
I don't know, I took my,
I think that's there's,
what do we have, 17? You want me to get my laptop?
No, up to you, I mean, see where it lies.
I think the way it's worked out for 5-year rotation is never more than 4. I think 1 year is 3.
Okay. Any other questions on this?
What's the SSV?
Special service vehicle, so the police package.
so,
So it's like an interceptor car, that,
well, it comes like without the center console because we have to put our radios and stuff.
is it a truck or like an SUV?
That's a truck.
SUVs
The
come,
Ram is a truck.
SUVs come without center consoles too, cause we put our own in there.
According to this 5-year thing, it says 3 cars, 3 squads in 2024, 4 squads in 2025.
You have the chart I made?
This is the email I got. I thought this came from, but Megan lost it, if that's relevant.
I know.
Okay, I thought that was recent. Oh, that's
That's the first time I've seen Terry like that.
I thought that's what they said was approved.
So Bert, yes, so but what happened was we added in his old squad to the patrol fleet. So we have to replace that one now. 2 years ago,
That's,
instead of buying a new squad,
That wasn't part of the
It is.
agreement though, right?
what's that?
That wasn't part of the agreement though.
What agreement?
Oh, I thought you had an agreement, that's why we had to pay somebody.
Right, but it originally wasn't agreed upon too, that we weren't gonna keep his squad for an extra 2 years, his old squad. So we kept his old squad for an extra 2 years.
Where was that agreement?
What?
Where was that agreement?
We just told the board that, hey, instead of buying a new squad when he got his, we're gonna keep that old Durango in the fleet for a couple of years, which we did.
yeah, so the cars we're replacing are, 2 of them will be 6 years old. One is 5 years old and one is 4 years old.
So we kept that old,
Other than that you're putting the discrepancy on the 4th car this year, this is the chart though.
is that equal 17, 3, 6, 9, 12, 16. We have 17. But yeah, that Durango that's currently a patrol squad was supposed to be gone 2 years ago, we kept it.
So are you, getting rid of any vehicles then to replace these?
We're gonna get rid of those 4. I gotta talk with Jamie to see what she wants me to sell and what she wants me to keep. I'm assuming the F-150 that we're getting rid of, someone's gonna want
I
that.
think forestry needs that one.
The 2 interceptors, I don't know if the county wants us to sell them or to keep them. We can look at that when, I mean, it's gonna be months before we get any new squads.
You know, and the Dodge, the Burt rides, the patrol vehicle, I mean, they can go somewhere if they want, and maybe nothing in it.
We gave forestry our last Dodge pickup that we're still using.
Well, the last one that came out of yours was, I think maintenance has now that Ford.
Yeah, we had a Dodge.
Oh, you're talking about the patrol vehicle, yeah.
The last one we sold, we, 70,000.
We have a motion on, anyone make a motion to approve that?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded by Jerry. Any discussion on it? Not, all those in favor, signify by aye.
Can I clarify something quick? I didn't hear anybody tell us that, yes, go ahead with the F-250 or 3/4 ton,
I have it written in here, so do you want me to read it back?
as long as you have it. I just didn't wanna buy one and get
It's
it.
a
So the
Ram SSV. I have them all circled. The 39, this is for 529. And then I have F-250 for 52,305.
Yep.
And I have 2 interceptors for 43,182, 52 from Toyson.
That's what I got from it. Okay.
Okay, motion made and seconded, and also, and approved also. So I guess you get your vehicles. When do you expect to get delivery?
What?
When do you expect delivery?
Hopefully sometime in 2024.
No, that's what I'm doing.
It's usually about 2 months before they're actually ready for service.
So I know for sure, the F-250 is a civilian model, it's not a police package, so that'll probably come in 1 to 3 months. The Ram SSV will probably get fairly soon, but the interceptors can be anywhere from 3 to 8 months.
And one of the things that I've heard, with this coming down the pike is when we do state bids, they're now considering a check upon ordering instead of upon delivery. Something to think about down the road here. Right now, we don't pay for them until we get them, but they're now starting to talk about taking payment upon the order. I don't know why, they certainly won't get shorted. I get stuck with vehicles because there's such a shortage of them. Anyway, just heads up, but, again, thank you for moving us up.
Yeah, and I don't think that check, I mean, if you guys need them sooner, it's already approved through here, so just let us know. if you want.
Yeah, we'll just go through the process and we're always fine.
Okay, moving on. There's no discussion, motion on recycling, fairgrounds, and materials and report.
For recycling, I really don't have much to say. I'm getting very short on recycle bins, so, last time I purchased them was in 2020, when they were like $12.50. Now they're $32 to $42 a bin, so, I won't be buying any bins. I'll buy up whatever I can find at Menards for $16.99, you know, but, then I'm just done. Those are, I can buy that with grant funds, but I don't have a lot of grant funds to buy $40-some recycle bins. That's all I have on recycling. Trails End Swinging Bridge, James is here to talk about that.
So with the swinging bridge, I've talked with forestry because they've done the permitting with the DNR, in the past and such. The swinging bridge itself, we did some mapping of it, so per the permit, so there's a couple things with the permit. First of all, you have a start and end date of your project. We do not have that. If I put it in as, we're starting January 1st, we're done by December 31st, and we don't have the funds to replace the bridge next year or do something with the bridge, we're wasting $2,000 on permits. That's what I'm running into right now. So I've not filed the permits, we've not paid for the permit, because we need to figure out how we're going to fund that bridge as far as replacement or repair. I have not found anyone willing to repair it. And I haven't got any bids on replacement yet because I wanna see what you guys wanna do moving forward. Cause I don't wanna, you're talking a large lump.
So you know that you can get it permitted, it's just a matter of paying it.
Exactly.
So this makes it easier to at least talk to a
Yeah,
contractor.
exactly. So, talking with the DNR gentleman, he said permitting isn't gonna be an issue because there's already something there. But as far as we need a start and end date, at least an estimated one, because those permits do run out. So, not really, well, once the bridge is there, it's fine, but I mean, as far as build times. The other thing is, we just went through and we did profiles of the bridges, both of them down there. Because the first one will have to be replaced in order to replace the second one. That's, another, I guess not gonna say loophole, but stepping stone that'll have to be done. That first bridge is not gonna hold any equipment to get the second one in. So, I guess,
Have you got a cost estimate for replacement?
what was on that sheet, you remember Charmaine from Larry? 250.
Yeah, it was over 200,000.
That's the only estimate I've gotten as far as the one that was on that sheet. And that, so forestry directed me to two other companies that I reached out to. I haven't heard back from them because I just reached out to them this week. The one I got a reply back saying he was out of the office all week. So, I know, yeah, I don't know what else.
200,000, a budget number for a new 8-foot wide by 100-foot long clear span wood deck steel pedestrian bridge is 200,000. This was from December 2022.
Yeah. I did have one that tossed out a number about 250,000 with install. So.
And that was just for the one.
That was just for the one, that was not for the first one. So I mean, I don't wanna, overstep my bounds here until I know what direction.
But that's to replace the swinging bridge.
It's to replace the swinging bridge,
What you're talking about is a fixed bridge.
a fixed bridge, so it will not be a swinging bridge going back in there. Cause, I haven't got a quote on a swinging bridge, but that's a fixed bridge they're talking about there. I know the swinging bridge has been a staple down at camp for many, many moons, but I don't know if anyone would even attempt to put another one in back there.
Well, I guess we have to decide that first. As far as, if you wanna pursue it, we're gonna just replace it with a fixed bridge. I don't know, do you have an estimate to fix the current swinging bridge? Or
No one will give me an estimate to fix it, because it's that,
Nobody wants to touch it.
no one wants to touch it, that's what I'm getting told by everyone. And I know we have an insurance claim in on it, I haven't talked to him in about a month, but, no one will give me a quote to,
Well, if that's the case, we might as well say, we're not gonna replace the swinging bridge with a swinging bridge or repair it. If you can't get anybody to bid on it.
Well, what's the insurance, how does that work with the insurance? Do they wait for an estimate to replace before they issue checks? I mean,
Usually it's after, it depends on the situation, if it's a complete loss, and I think that's kind of where we're in limbo right now.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's repairable, or if it is a complete loss.
at this point, it sounds like. complete loss
yeah, no
because
one will touch it. That's what I got several emails saying that no one will repair that bridge.
So what I'm saying is, what appears to me that, as far as the insurance is concerned, it's total loss. As far as we're concerned.
So then if they want,
But we're not gonna get 200,000.
Well,
Yeah.
so it's not based on, replacement costs, it's based on.
Whatever it was insured for, I think, at the time.
Yeah, and they have the appraisers come out, and so I don't know exactly how much we get, but it's going to be considerably less than.
You might wanna find out
whatever it is, we can find
what
out.
that is, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, James has been in, because I don't know the specifics on the, so James has
I
been.
don't know every item on the whole insurance.
Well, I know the items, but I just don't know the,
exact amount.
the exact situation out there and the.
And I haven't talked amounts to the insurance guy, I've just kept him in the loop of what's going on as far as, I haven't got any bids to repair it because everyone I talk to won't touch it type thing, and, he's been good about that, but I don't know how long we can string that out,
Yeah, could you reach out to him again and?
I can and see what he says.
Just tell them it looks like nobody wants to replace it,
Yeah.
so it's,
Can't you find
it'll
out?
be a total loss.
With insurance?
And yes, if he has a recommendation.
Yeah, he might have.
Hey, if you have a recommendation, we're not trying to hose you here, we're just trying to do the best thing for you.
Because the
Yeah,
main,
I don't know, yeah.
the main thing I'm running into is no one does wooden structures anymore. That's a complete wooden structure. So everyone does a metal structure with wood on top. And no one's gonna work on a wooden structure. That's what I'm getting,
Put on wood.
yeah, that's what I'm getting told. Wooden structures are a thing of the past now as far as bridges. So I guess I'll get a hold of him and talk to him about, that no one will even, give us an estimate on it for sure and see what it would be, as far as a complete loss. I'll include you in an email going over to him so that way we know. And then I
Make it
guess,
easier to watch it or see what.
yeah, and then maybe next month we'll revisit it once again and see,
You get to come back next month.
which is fine. So we'll just kinda come back to it and see what we're looking at. Maybe I can get a few estimates on replacement of it by then, maybe. See what people, and then timeframes too on some of these companies. Cause without that bridge, we can't get to any of the trails, which I know we'll touch on here in a little while, but there's no work to be done on those trails unless we take a canoe across and throw everything in the canoe and go that way.
It wouldn't hurt to get a general idea on an estimate on a swinging bridge agenda fix.
Well, if I-
that way we got the option, if you're like, okay, it's like 10,000 more, we're spending
Exactly.
200,000, we may say, okay.
If I could find someone that
At
would
this
give
point,
me-
I know, for the kids and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The swinging bridge, but then if it's extremely, we're gonna be like, wow, we also gotta balance
Yeah,
the.
well, I understand it, completely, so.
I think the main thing would be to fix that first bridge first.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be the end of the world, because you could, put 40-foot, pipeline mats across there, and you could drive an excavator, 80,000-pound excavator across there, no problem. But, I would say that first bridge would be limited.
Pipeline mat.
A pipeline mat, yeah. 12-inch timbers, pretty much, 40 foot long by 4 foot.
And then that stretch there is 32 feet from shortage. That bridge, the first bridge is 32 feet from edge to edge right now. So 40 foot would reach across there.
40-foot bridge.
Well, the first one's a 32-foot bridge.
But I mean, you put in a 40-footer.
You probably would, in order to get back up, so the bridges have changed over time. When that bridge was put in, it was right on the bank line. Now they want you to go back, 5-10 feet on both sides in order to get off that bank line. So that one would be longer, and then the swinging bridge would probably be still about 200 feet, but it probably wouldn't be nearly as high, Right, it depends on what kind of style they put in,
Well, I think from the DNR standpoint, at least I think, from what I've seen, is they always want X number of feet, I think it's 5 foot above the high water mark.
Yeah.
Any part of the bridge.
Yeah, that's why the swinging bridge
Any
is,
part of the bridge, yeah.
is so far up there, cause it's 21 feet on one side and I think 18 on the other. And by the time it swings down, then you still got 5 feet above the water mark,
I could just do a rope swing too.
Yeah.
But I think the key would be to get that first bridge.
Be in the water.
First bridge fixed, so then you can actually get a actual accurate quote for the second bridge, cause nobody's gonna give you a quote if they can't get their machinery back.
I'm guessing, whoever hosts that's gonna go back and see, they're gonna look at it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah,
So they'll say, okay, well, we need, in order to, for this bridge, this is what we gotta do.
Well, I think that's what they've already said, right?
well, a couple of them, yeah. I've had a couple local, like EBs and CWI came out and they've looked at it, and they said the first bridge would have to be done in order to do the second bridge. Now, the couple of companies that are farther away that I've reached out to, they haven't came out and looked, because I just asked them, you know, not replacement, but fixing. And they said they don't work on wooden structures, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
I mean, my personal opinion, I think you do that first bridge with, pipeline timbers, and that would take, it'd be 10 times better than what's there. And then, you get back there, I mean, you could easily pour a column, you could easily put a swinging bridge in back in there. You're just gonna have to pour, well, yeah, I mean, you're just gonna have to pour big columns of footings on each side. And as long as you can get the permits.
Yeah, exactly,
It's no big deal.
Cause right now it's just poles driven in the ground.
Because all it is cables.
Yep.
That's all it is.
This look to me like this would be a two-stage project.
The first one and then the second one.
So if you got any estimates on the, say, a 40-foot?
Well, when I talked to Eves when he came out, he had one that was actually used. It was from the snowmobile trail, and it was way overrated, but it wasn't long enough. It was about 4 feet shy, so he'd have to figure out what it would take to lengthen it to make it the right thing, and he didn't give me a number. But he had one that was 12 foot wide, and like I said, about 4 or 5 feet too short, you know, that was already pre-done. So.
He's got the used one?
He has a used one sitting there, but it's not long enough, that's
But
the,
I mean, I would think it should be a lot less just to extend it
well,
and build a new one.
well, it would depend, just, you know, as far as weight limit. I don't know what, that one's meant for snowmobiles and stuff going across, but if you're talking bigger machines, you know, he might have to run another I-beam or two underneath there, you know, but it would be theoretically a little cheaper, I would think.
Should be.
What if it's not considerably cheaper and we just
Yeah, exactly.
cobble together a bridge?
Exactly, so that, them are all options we have to look at.
Yeah.
So I will make some phone calls this afternoon yet, or even next week early, and get maybe some pricing on the first one, and see how soon they could get the first one done, cause that would be, you know, the big thing.
So where's this money gonna come from?
That's
What
what,
he's gonna find out from the insurance, how much we're even gonna.
how much we're gonna get from insurance
If we
first.
took, right now, the insurance doesn't know that it's a total loss for sure. At this point, he's gonna tell them.
Then we're just gonna mark it as a total loss.
Yeah, unless you got a recommendation of somebody who's gonna come and fix this thing, nobody wants to touch it.
Yeah.
So, and maybe they will.
Yeah, they might have someone in their back pocket that
Would be more, I mean,
Well, and the thing, I think they pay replacement costs, but the thing that gets complicated is that if you can't get anybody to bid a wood bridge, you don't have an accurate replacement cost, because we have a replacement cost with a steel bridge or whatever, but that's an upgrade from what we currently have, so we'll have to do, come to an agreement with
probably a cheaper upgrade than if we did wood. You know, what I mean?
Probably.
To get somebody to do wood, we're talking bringing somebody down from Texas or something. Who knows, maybe we can reach out that far.
Yeah, maybe.
Get us a quote anyways.
So then I'll do some phone calling and emailing, and we'll see what we can get from there. And then I'll just come back next month and we'll move forward from there. Cause that's the biggest thing as far as the permitting goes, there's no sense of spending the money on the permits if it isn't gonna happen next year. We might as well wait on the permitting for another, year or whatever. Why spend that money when we don't know going forward?
It makes sense.
Okay. We'll just bring it back next month and see what we can find out.
Okay, the next, camping electrical upgrades, we, I believe it was last month came and we talked about getting 3 quotes. Well, we were able to get 2, but Gary reached out to a third and they're 6 months out from getting quotes, so, this one here is from Red Cedar. Now this is to upgrade the camping spots at Trails End. Red Cedar Electric for the 5 sites. It went up a little bit, it was less than 4,200, I think, now it's 4,317. Then, this one's B&B Electric, 5,485 is their quote. But then he also recommended upgrading to 200 amp electrical service for an additional $4,494. So we only have two quotes, so,
What was that second number for the upgrading?
well, it's 5485 for similar, and then 4494 to upgrade to the.
Additional
Yeah.
494.
Yeah, yep,
Cause he's talking about upgrading the service boxes there. And we didn't get a hold of Excel, and our load down there, we shouldn't have to upgrade that box because the load isn't ever high enough. The pole hasn't ever been high enough to necessarily have to upgrade that box, and it might be different once, they plug a bunch of campers in, but as of right now, with the pole that's there, it would never exceed what's there, it was my understanding anyway.
What was your potential in the future, cause you don't wanna be like at the fairgrounds where what they did, 10 years ago, and then they found out that now it can't handle it. If we're gonna do something, we might as well plan for the future if there's a potential that.
So I don't ever foresee more than probably 5 plug-in campsites down in camp.
yeah, we're all sand there, so we did.
You have to be very careful
We
where
have
you
special
park.
spots that we allow them, so yeah, I don't believe, we are researching a campground license, but just so we don't have to do the temporary campground licenses throughout the year. But it's not gonna be in competition with county parks or whatever, cause you get the whole camp when you book camp, so, we don't foresee it getting crazy big.
Yeah, it would be-
Campground.
Yeah.
Right, so we have 2 quotes, which I know 3 is preferred, we have money in this year's budget, but I'm not sure at this point if it can get completed this year. So, I know this is probably more of a finance thing, but, so we have money in this year's budget. And then if we can't get it done, can we recommend to finance to carry forward the money to next year to get it done?
So you're saying you got the money, but you don't reckon you can get somebody to do it, right?
Well, right, this year yet, cause we only have a couple weeks left.
Just, we're already 24.
Well, we can, but then we gotta use,
That's out of next year's budget.
yeah, next year's money, cause unless finance approves to move it.
Is that something we can do or have done, or?
We have done it before.
We move the money forward.
Right,
Knowing that there's a.
right, but we already did transfer money out of contingency this year into, what was that?
Oh, that's the trees.
And the stove.
That's how we click and farm it.
And our financial procedures manual says a minimum of 3 quotes shall be obtained. So we only have 2.
And we're working on it 6 months before they get out there to give a 3rd quote.
And then there's probably other contractors.
How many did you call, Gary?
I called 4, but the 2 that you got are the local contractors, I can call some people in Eau Claire and stuff, it'd just be a waste of the time, but I call them.
We would wanna at least get a 3rd quote so that we're following the procedures. I don't have a problem with carrying forward the money, but we do wanna follow the financial procedures manual.
So we get 2 quotes from B&B and what else?
Red Cedar Electric?
So can we recommend the finance that if by the next finance meeting's next week, right?
By the next finance committee meeting that they have, 3rd quote, that we carry forward the money in next year's budget.
Well, that's only, the next finance meeting's gonna be gonna happen.
I suppose it's pretty soon to get it going, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you can't, you can hardly expect to get another quote.
I can get another quote, I just didn't wanna, to be honest with you, I didn't wanna call somebody up and beg them for a quote knowing that they're gonna be hired, more than likely, because they're out of town. Competing with the local guys that have worked there, and they know the area, they know the layout.
Yeah, well, it purely just because procedures are good, don't wanna do that.
Eventually, what if we just put an RFP out, and get one bid, and that's what you guys take anyways.
We can do an RFP too.
Just wanna point out too, that if you start allowing, you know, one department to carry forward balances, you're gonna have a lot of people lined up too.
But if we have departments just spending the money to spend it, compared to one department saying, hey, you know, I kinda want a budget, I don't know, it's kind of, I see where you're going with that, but there's kind of the wash on both sides of that. Make sure they spend the money and then they spend it on something they don't need, and then when they need
Well, I just know
money
that the
budgeted.
finance committee had concerns with transferring money out of contingency and equipment fund for these things, they didn't want to do it because they wanted to wait and see if the department could still come in within budget, and then you're gonna allow carryover to.
Maybe something we should,
Thing on the agenda says budget shortage.
ARPA. But yeah, so if it's 3 quotes, then
I need 3 quotes. I guess that's, we got a week, so.
What spreadsheet is that on this one?
Should check.
Tech? You know where you're on local that would get on it?
he's the one that said he's 6 months out for giving quotes. Gary talked to the other person.
You please?
I didn't get a response from them, but, J&L.
We've had quote and stuff, but we always hire.
Moldberg does electrical install.
Red Cedar usually does it for them.
Okay.
Red Cedar usually does what? Homework?
Their installs.
But at that point in time, Red Cedar would be just a subcontract.
Correct.
I'm sorry, what?
I said at that point, Red Cedar would be just a sub.
We don't approve today, it goes in the next year's budget, so.
Any recommendations?
yeah, I mean, at this point, without the third quote, we can't really do anything.
So Trails End did increase the fees for next year for camping, so it has to go out of next year, it is what it is. So only those sites, we're charging for the 5 electrical sites, the typical $30 per night. And we did raise rates, so there should be more revenue in 2024. So only those that use the camping will get charged for it. So, you can't blame us for trying though.
No, I definitely don't.
I guess we need to get another quote, but we should, we're not gonna get it time in now for this year.
Well, cause then you'd need it done this year, that's the thing. So even if we did get a quote by next week,
Right.
who's gonna do it in December, so, yeah, it's.
Should we bring it back next month? It could be 50 degrees.
Bought cars
Well, it was yesterday.
go negative on everything.
Yeah, so,
The what?
improve squad cars to go negative on their budget.
It's not their budget.
It's the fleet budget, right? So I mean, if that was the concern, the carryout, I mean, you do it for one department but not another, I guess. But, and we can't do anything without a third quote anyways.
Alright, well, we need to get a third quote, and I guess, for next year.
Okay, next pavilion. It is done, the electrical got done this week, so James took some pictures.
So originally, when they first started the pavilion, because I know we're gonna talk some money here in a minute. Originally, they were only supposed to put 6 uprights, and there's 8. The poles that they had, because all the lumber came out of camp. By the time they were cut and brought down, because it's hard when you're 50 feet in the air to see how actually big that pole is. Once he got into it, if you go to the one on the inside, one more, that one. So you can see that he had a piece, one section together. You can see how the poles are different sizes up on top there on the main rafter. So that is why it took him longer. If you see there's 2 different poles. So by the time he cut the main upright logs to the correct length to make sure that you're not hitting your head on it, the pole would have been really small on the end. So to hold up that kind of structure, it wasn't feasible, so we had to piece it together and you had to put another set of poles in there. And another king stud and, another set of rafters and the whole works. So it took a little longer because of that. Now, well, when it comes to electrical, we got a second bill on that. Because I believe when Cece was doing this, she was going off, and I can't say for sure because I haven't asked her. So you can see that the main pole here, that's actually one of the camp spots. And then behind is the main one. So it's about 90 feet, so they had actually trenched 90 feet more than what was actually originally planned. Because they pulled it right into the box instead of piggybacking off that other spot. So that increased our spending a little bit more on that. Which, when we were talking about the camp, campsites, and I think it was better that we pulled right from the electrical box compared to trying to piggyback off anyway, to make sure it's up to code. And then that's just a picture of the inside going south. So it's a beautiful 30 by 40 pavilion, it's completely done now. Things did get pushed back. I didn't come into this project until later on, but I know the concrete was almost a month and a half, 2 months behind. The contractor moved on to the next project and he came in late because the concrete slab wasn't ready for him when he was ready to be there originally. So there was some things that pushed it back a little.
So, $55,000 was approved for this. These are all of the expenses. If I make it smaller, can you still see it? So like, those guys, that was an unexpected expense, nothing was budgeted. We didn't realize we needed a land use permit, so we were over on some. So, 7,000, well, and I was supposed to get another invoice for the remaining screws. I don't know, that's probably gonna be less than $100, I'm guessing. So, initially when it was all quoted, there was $44.89 wiggle room. Well, that got eaten up. But, as James alluded to earlier, we were allowed, the nature trail, which at this rate is not gonna get spent by 2026. So we do have enough funds in, it's all one budget line, that we don't have 2 separate like at the fairgrounds. So we have enough ARPA money, it's just, we're gonna use up the nature trail for the shortage.
Okay, that would require a resolution to move it from.
Yep, so I guess that's what I.
Send this to full county board.
Yeah. There was a nature trail, what one was that for?
So it was actually approved back in 21.
Oh, that was before.
Yeah, $13,200.
That's why I don't remember that, okay.
Yeah, and so there's 8,000 there.
So we think we need a resolution to reappropriate that ARPA fund.
So do you want all, or just, are you,
By next week, cause you want this for finance, right?
well,
I'm guessing it's 100, but if it's 100, you say, it's just say 7,300 or something. And if it's more, then we'll just eat it out of the budget or something.
okay, so,
So,
wait, can you go back to that nature trail one for a sec?
yes.
Okay, because does that take into account the, revenue that was used to reduce that? 'Cause
She
you
did
had-
say kids, yes, so we do have donation
Okay,
money.
'cause I was gonna say,
I didn't check to see if all that's in there yet.
the only, cause if we scroll back up to the expenses, the only one that I wouldn't have had was, is that June one, and I was showing that we really, at the, as of March 2023, we had really only spent $1,594.27 of ARPA dollars for that trail because of
Cause
that
you,
revenue.
you use the revenue first. Okay, so then, if that's the case, cause I guess I didn't realize that, I thought all that was still sitting and non-lapsing, cause, we bought a lot of merchandise this year for Picnic Under the Pines, and that was kind of a flop, so we're in the hole, so it's,
No, that
cause
was
normally
used
all
to-
that merchandise comes out of that donation line on the bottom.
Yeah,
Cause
that was-
Kitsy did say 13,200 would be moved, so that's why I was going with that number.
Yeah, but those donations were used first.
Okay, I didn't realize that. So.
But it'll be 7,300 that you
You're looking at 7,300?
move 7,300 from boardwalk to pavilion.
But now you're saying we don't have that.
No, I'm
We
saying
have that.
you have more
We have
ARPA
more
funds left
in
in the
the nature
boardwalk than
trail,
what you
that's what.
But the
had
money,
there, because that 3,000, so you have to take that 3,500 and add it to that
Oh.
8,025.
Okay,
Does
okay,
that make sense?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you need a resolution to send, you gonna send it to finance first, or you gonna just take it to county board?
I think finance should sign the resolution.
What's that now?
Finance should sign the resolution, I can write it up before.
like the motion to send to finance with the recommendation of a resolution to bring it forward.
I'll second it.
$7,300. We don't know if that's the exact number, is it?
We don't, but by next week I'll know. He was supposed to give me the invoice yesterday.
Well, why don't we just say up to?
Oh, up to, very good, yes.
Well, yeah, but we have, I have to, we have to have dollar amounts allocated, so then if the pavilion doesn't end up spending the full 7,300, it'll just go back to the general ARPA allocations eventually. Which we'll need to do that in 2024, because we have till the end of 2024 to allocate funds.
Alright, we have a motion made, second to forward this to finance. The resolution to send to the county board. Any more discussion on it? Not, all those in favor, signify by aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, fairgrounds update.
We had talked about getting, B&B was here and talked about, the electrical part. And just giving you an update, we got one of the two quotes, and this one for adding 30 campsites, well, 10. It's to do 10 in the north where they're currently non-electric. The cost is $16,295. The Fair Board meets on Sunday. They're going to talk about, whether, you know, they can fund this. So I just wanted to give you an update. B&B has been working with us to get us quotes. We got one out of two. So in January, I can, bring final stuff to you.
Okay. So we'll have
That's it.
the additional campsite, we'll put on the agenda for January.
And hopefully we'll have the other quote too for, I don't know how to describe it.
reducing the load of the one.
What?
And I'll leave it there to fix the truck.
No, so it's just to get approval to,
I don't know if they're gonna cost.
I don't know.
What was it, 1,400?
2,500, and what else?
What?
Which truck was it?
This is one of the older ones.
14, I never did. 16, 16. You called me about it. I said, "Go ahead and fix it."
Okay, so we just are looking for approval and,
This
I don't have
What
it.
was wrong with it?
transmission,
Oh, you know what, hold on a second. Greener Acres, right?
Is that where they took it, Scott? The transmission from your acres?
That's what 4-H department.
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah, I thought that was a different vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, they got another one?
You reckon? Yeah.
You better call Jared.
Okay.
Yep.
You did call him?
Hey Jared, you're on speaker with the property committee.
Good morning.
Morning. What's this repair replacement?
So Alex's truck had, I don't know, they took it in and there was a few suspension, like, shocks and struts.
Is that the Ford?
Yes, I think so. It was gonna be about $2,500, I think, is what highway had estimated.
Oh, so this is different than the transmission one. Last month was transmission, this month is something.
That's why that sounds.
Okay, so I don't know what that was.
Which truck is it?
What's the truck number, do you know?
Or a year or something.
I think it's an 08. I think it's an 08 Ford F-250.
So that.
250.
3646.
Yeah.
It might be the 2012 or 11.
You're not helping,
Okay,
Jared.
stop. Stick with one number here.
What color is it?
It's the newer of the Fords.
Okay, so then you guys have, you have an 11 dark green?
Yep.
Okay,
2936.
yes.
That's the one?
29.
Do you have money in the budget somewhere to fix it?
It's a fleet vehicle.
We could use money in the budget to fix it.
Well,
We just spent the
But
negative on
I
that.
know the other ones.
Alright, I'll make a motion to approve fixing it.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any more discussion on it?
alright, do we need Jared anymore?
No.
Okay, thanks Jared.
Yep, thank you.
All in favor? Waiting for die. Opposed? Motion carries. So, the animal shelter. Additional cell phone.
It's done.
Huh?
No, she called me yesterday and asked if she needed to be here, and I said no, because they're so busy there. There's only two phones out there. There's one's a landline, and one's a cell phone that she has. They need one for on-call staff. Well, and also for, just in general, because if they're out and they they had 3 flip phones before, they didn't work, they got rid of all of them. So like I say, there's only 2, one's a landline, one's a cell phone, so they need another one, so that when on-call gets back on, but even now, if, say, for example, Nicole has to go out and do something, she can take a picture of or something and send it back to Dawn in the office. So it'd be one phone, and it'd be a county phone. And, the other thing that was passed by the joint animal control board was that we wanted one cell phone for on-call, because that way the sheriff and the county, or the city would have one number to call. And they could either, it'd be up to the person on call, they could either go and get the phone and take it with them. Some people, they were complaining, well, we don't want 2 phones, our personal ones and that. And it's like, what's your choice? If you have it, you can call in and simply forward the phone to you, or you
Don't you
can.
think if they get a non-call phone specifically, so there's one number to call, that they should have to keep it on? Otherwise, that kind of defeats the purpose of having a one-call phone to.
No, it's up to them, they can either have it forwarded to them, or they can go and physically get the phone and have it with them. If it's forwarded to their phone, again, that's liability again. If anything happens and it's all on their personal phone, that could be confiscated. If there's some legal thing or something, their phone would be confiscated. That way, if we have the cell phone, it would be on the cell phone, that's county property, and that would be that. So that's the only thing here, is simply to ask for one cell phone for the on-call, and also, well, just for the staff there, if they're out and they need to get back to,
What's the cost?
it's, well,
$40 to $45 a month.
yeah,
And
40
honestly,
to 45.
does it even have to come here if it was approved at one point in time to have that phone? Or to have those
Well,
phones?
because the phones, I didn't think it did, Ashley said that I had to bring it here.
Cause
So,
it was previously approved, it's just they stopped using it because.
right, the phones had already been approved before, this isn't anything new that way. But no, I didn't think it had to come here, but she said, give it to me.
So the thing with the forwarding, you know, if somebody doesn't unforward it, it's gonna, like, if they don't realize, cause 6 hours later, they're
You
sleeping.
can't legislate stupid. If they don't unforward it when they go off duty,
But then so I mean, I don't care about annoying them, cause that person's gonna be annoyed because they forgot to unforward it. But what if somebody misses a call because it forwarded to that person's phone, that person's sleeping and they don't, you know, cause maybe they worked all night,
well, it'd been forwarded to their phone then.
It'll go to that person's voicemail.
and it goes to their voicemail.
Right.
Now, they left the voicemail, that person doesn't check their messages for another day, what if it's
You can't,
I guess I don't know how elevated the emergencies are there, but I'm assuming there's times where it's pretty urgent that they need to get a hold of them, I guess, for the on-call.
And it's not, it would be dispatch calling probably, so
Right.
dispatch would know that that's it.
Oh, this isn't something that would go like out to the public, it
No.
would be.
oh, no,
Oh,
public
okay.
would not have this number, no.
If it's a non-emergency, they'll call, leave a message at the animal shelter on that answer service there.
Gotcha, so it's okay,
No, it's not a public number,
okay.
no.
Well, they approved the phones before, so.
I wasn't gonna
They
bring
had it
it
budgeted?
because it's in the, like, see, I wasn't gonna bring it, and Ashley said, I've gotta bring it to property, so, okay, it's here.
And I think that's maybe when they were talking about maybe switching it from, you know, a county-owned phone to potentially reimbursement to the employees, and that would need to come here, but.
So we don't need nothing.
You know,
If you want, you can say we
Well,
talked about it.
I think as long as it's here,
The
you
comment.
should approve the cell phone, additional cell phone, animal shelter.
Or you could just put it in the minutes, the common consensus was that it's already.
No,
approved.
it's here, we need a motion.
I would just vote on it.
So moved.
discussion?
From the animal budget, correct?
Mhm.
For animal shelter budget.
Animal shelter.
Not, all those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion right along. Yeah, highway. Sherry,
I don't know.
what?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, the plow trucks, you wanna request two more, right?
Yeah.
We budgeted two for this year, in our, this coming year's budget. We need to upgrade, two more.
We just approved it $750,000 for equipment.
That's two trucks.
So that's what you wanna spend your 750 on?
We already budgeted for two, 2024. Now we're requesting two more. Two additional out of ARPA. Which
Yeah,
one
that's
is
fine.
that?
Cause they're getting to be more and more, when you order these trucks, you're getting to be pushed so far out to build a plow truck anymore, you're looking at.
Year and a half.
2-year turnaround.
Pretty soon we're gonna have like $5 million a year going into highway equipment, ain't gonna have enough money between you and the sheriff, there ain't gonna be nothing left for anybody.
Wow. We gotta have equipment to maintain the roads.
I don't know how you're gonna budget renting all the equipment. But it's,
Well, you have an equipment fund that's supposed to be being built up for when you need
well,
stuff,
the
right?
equipment fund is spread across more than just vehicles. The equipment fund is spread across our mechanics in the shop, repairs on the equipment, to everything that we have. So the equipment fund just ain't for buying equipment. That is also the overhead of our shop. And truck maintenance and everything else that we got out there.
Well, we just stuck $750,000, which hasn't happened before, out of levy dollars into there.
The trucks could be, we're working on a turnaround right now, which, like, they're all for bid right now for our next highway meeting for next Wednesday.
Well, you've got two,
Two Wednesdays.
you got two ordered now?
We're working on the bids on them right now, they're all.
We have bids opening at the next meeting.
That's the next highway meeting.
And then you want this for 2024? You may get them in 2024, you may not.
Yeah, we'll do it in 2025.
I say just make the whole county one big highway.
So then you want two more that will probably end up in 2025 also. You wanna take that out of ARPA too?
These two, yeah.
No, I mean, the additional two.
That's the request brought forward, is to get.
So you want $1.5 million bucks? Out of ARPA.
Well, I
No.
know out of ARPA, 750 is out of levy,
Says $150 levy.
Well,
It
then
says-
Which
Another
hasn't been done in the past.
another 600,
I don't know why we didn't finance did that,
did what, 750?
the 750 general. Originally, we requested our, a few months ago. And how they took it and put it in the levy.
Oh, that wasn't, I mean, that was with them working on the budget, that wasn't.
We budgeted that way to go that way, and then you had a question about the ARPA money under it, and
So you want 750 out of ARPA, like more.
750 or 600? 700.
they're both three.
So 1.5 million going between ARPA and levy extra.
Somebody's gonna bring it up.
The lone trucks, I mean, we got two loaders to replace out there.
And we got loaders, we got shop trucks, we got our dual truck at the shop is a 1985 Scottsdale Military Edition.
We must be starting from scratch with something, we've never had any equipment out there, it's just brand new now.
This is all we've been using for years on end that we never, I mean, things gotta change because they're so far behind, we're spending.
There's a 10-year gap in most of the trucks, the new ones.
We need the trucks, the money's gotta come from somewhere, we only have so much time to spend this ARPA money.
Oh,
Oh, well, how does that work though, if we don't get the trucks in time to spend the money?
We have until 12/31/2024 to allocate funds, and then we have until 12/31/2026 to spend
Yeah,
them.
yeah, two more of you.
So they need to be allocated
To
again.
have contracts
Oh, yeah.
by 12/24.
Right, yeah, it needs to be allocated.
But after twenty twenty-four,
Yeah,
if we underspend, something that we allocated the money for, we don't get it then, right?
Yeah, and that part hasn't, I don't know if
If
there's
there's
been
like
official guidance on
$50,000,
that yet.
if we say we're using 50,000 for this, and the project comes in at 40, we can't reallocate it.
I don't think we wanna find out what happens if that comes to it, I think
Right.
we just need
We
to.
have like
I
19,
have a strong guess about
Scott, we
that.
have what, 19 trucks? We have 19 trucks. 4 of them are in the 2000 series, the rest are like 10,000 or, 2020s. We
How
have
about
4
this?
newer ones.
How about this?
The other ones is a 10-year gap between the older ones, and they're not,
Are they all roadworthy?
this is why we're asking, because I don't wanna,
Our, right now with those rolling, the 2 trucks we got last year, we put 2 state trucks into our county. At that point in time, our newest county truck is a 2009 plow truck. Our oldest plow truck is a 2004.
I believe if they got inspected like there should be, there's probably 6 trucks that won't pass inspection.
Well, the other thing I think about, okay, you're not gonna get them till 2025. If you wait, how much they go up every year?
They're going up for it. Well,
Look at-
the last 2 trucks that we got in, the 2 quad were 289, 290. And, right now, if just a triaxle truck come in, we're probably gonna, I would not doubt that we're not looking at 340,000 for them trucks.
Yeah, well, two examples, look at the sheriff's vehicle we just authorized. They're all pushing 50 grand.
I don't see them going down.
So how
We
about-
used to pay, 35 for the insurance. A couple of years ago, the construction prices just gone through the roof. And you are,
So it sounds like we're just kinda looking for ways to just use some ARPA money, just use it up. So why don't we wait until the end of next year? If we know that, we don't have the ARPA money, we don't have something that's more important, we'll just say, okay, let's buy a bunch of new equipment, whatever you guys
so where's the
want,
status
with
of
the rest of the ARPA
that's
money.
just exactly how much is left that hasn't been
So,
or
863,198.38.
How much?
$863,198.38, that's if, well, actually, and, time out, we could add 90,000 back into that because the, restrooms for the fairgrounds have not been officially approved. So we're talking, $953,198.38. And then there's some projects that are underspent, so at some point in time in 2024, I'll bring a resolution back to county board to,
Reallocate?
yes, yeah, or deobligate those funds so that they're kind of back into that,
So you're looking at roughly $1 million
just under the goal.
without the back.
Yeah, so that would eat up the whole.
Sure.
But it would be spending money on something that would otherwise be purchased eventually anyway.
Right, but I think that eventually we gotta figure out how to get the equipment fund maintained itself. It has for years, and then all of a sudden now we need $100 million by tomorrow, and we don't have anything out there. I say we wait off on this one, just see what comes with the
I'll
round.
make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Is there a second?
we can't plow our road, we can't pave them.
Well, if we don't approve it, somebody else is gonna keep their fingers in the pie.
Oh, it might be a good idea though, too.
How many other requests did we get out there?
This is the first request from highway out of
Right. I mean, how many other requests are still left open?
Well, it's the first one that you're considering approving, there was a request for a loader
Yeah.
previously, that did not.
We did that. like request for both of them.
Yeah, and I mean.
That is for lack of a second. Watch two people work before.
You're gonna ARPA request anyways, so. Essentially, you can consider that ARPA money.
Following up on Tony's thing, isn't there still a list of
That's what I'm saying.
requests, you know, that haven't been approved?
Right,
Yeah, I mean, I have it right in front of me here, that,
so what is the list?
okay.
What's that?
So, road system and campground, campsite development at Audie Lake, paving at Josie Creek, courthouse generator, the fairgrounds bathrooms, building addition on Round Barn at fairgrounds, campground expansion and upgrade at Audie Lake. Oh yeah, that's it, guys. Paving at Murphy picnic area, access road and parking lot, paving at Josie Creek rifle range, new pavilion at Josie Creek, new road to access East Forest through and around wetlands, surface treatment for ATV trails, some IT stuff, sheriff's storage building, animal shelter driveway and parking lot, senior center parking lot, fairgrounds repaved road, IT door project, you know, adding more doors to the garage access. Animal shelter building addition, highway loader, circuit court council chairs, sheriff's department dispatch chairs, circuit court council tables, circuit court juror chairs, trails end bridge replacement and rehab, NetSmart, electronic health record, public health carpeting, sheriff's department, traffic light cameras, speed trailer, PA system.
How much do they total up?
Well,
Couple million.
yeah, about 2.7.
It's a big giant wish list.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And we could have something comes up yet that, you know, it's like, hey, it's a good idea, you know.
But a year from now, it has to be.
Right, so, let's say we come to October next year, we're like, we don't got the ARPA fund spent, sure, buy some plow trucks, whatever you guys need, I mean, I'm sure we can spend that in a hurry if it comes to that. You could do something.
We need the plow truck for all the roads. That is on, kind of a must.
We just approved $750,000.
That's two though, I mean, we have 19, there's a bunch that need to be retired.
And then the ones that get retired, whatever salvage we get from that will go into the equipment fund
Exactly.
They're not worth
to
it.
build, but I mean, it's something.
Well, it's easy enough to, $1 million, it's easy enough to find places to dump it.
Right.
Yeah,
All
we're
kinds
just
of-
looking at dumping money, I mean, we got all kinds of holes.
Yeah, well, we approved $100,000 for the campground expansion. Was it Audie Lake or what?
No, we didn't approve that.
We talked about it.
I thought it was approved for expansion.
The most recent, you want me to just go off the things that were approved this year?
Yeah.
So the grandstand rehab for 290,000, concrete multi-purpose building for 60,000, additional courtroom 2 upgrades for $63,421.54, forestry trail signs for 25,000, IT fiber project for 42,000, sheriff's department tasers for 55,000, additional grandstand rehab for 55,000, and then the fairgrounds restrooms and showers are sitting in limbo right now.
Well, I can't see, I mean, originally it started out at $300,000 for that, there. You know, that's down to, whatever. Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna say about $90,000.
Were they supposed to get additional information on that? Right?
Yeah, you guys wanted like feasibility of those buildings and.
They were individual units, weren't they? So, you know, that's just the purchase of the buildings.
Did I mention that to you? At finance, we talked about the bathrooms and we wanted to have you look at see
said, I know, in Spring Valley, there's a guy in Spring Valley that's got some of them,
Okay.
so that's Wisconsin. You can actually buy them on Amazon, too, they're $700 more. You get free shipping. Yep.
Okay, I can't remember if I mentioned, I know I was supposed to mention it, so I'll make sure I didn't. Mention it again. Just do a little more research and go back to that.
Okay.
The thing of it is too though, you're looking at just the prices of the buildings. Once you know, it's gonna cost money to, well, to hook them all up. So, the fairgrounds, there's gonna be some excavating involved and all that stuff, you know? So that, the actual allocation of the money for buildings is one thing, but then the cost to hook them up and, you know, get them serviceable is another.
Alright, let's go back to topics.
Yeah, well,
Oh, that's off.
this came about because of what's been spent on.
It was kinda hard.
Well, is there a second?
We want to second it, so.
I'll second. Yeah. Okay. Want a roll call vote?
I would like a roll call vote,
Yeah, okay.
fully recorded.
Gary?
Yes.
I have to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is the motion?
Hold up. Hold on.
To request $750 ARPA for the
You're better with that though.
I've been told it might work now.
Is that, what do you call him, Nate? Oh, yeah, yes. What did you say?
Barry, you are the deciding factor here.
It is, yes, he is, yes.
I just think that's an awful lot of our public on it. I just, at this point, I'll vote no.
So because of the time,
Yeah.
I know we need trucks, but it's like what was brought up at board meeting. We have spent so much money on the fairgrounds that, I mean, I realize they're not the fairgrounds, but on that, you know, I think people are gonna start voting against stuff for that, because we spent so much out of the ARPA funds for the fairgrounds and trails and all that stuff, and a lot of the other stuff is not being spent, and there are a lot of people that never go to the fairgrounds.
there's a lot of people that do, but
I-
I'm gonna stick up for the fairgrounds for a little bit, cause I'm on the fair board. And
So you're
I'm gonna
biased.
stick up,
Yeah.
no, and I'm gonna stick up for highway, but there's been a lot of things that have been left behind.
That's right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was gonna let, and we're looking at potentially a new building size or expansion building.
He said no, how
We
is,
don't have the money. You know what I'm saying?
So it's not that shit I'm talking about, that's not.
I mean, the fairgrounds is spending a lot of money on upgrade, but fairgrounds was neglected for years.
Get your figures on the car wash.
I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
Car wash out, I'll call a couple of guys in it. Wonder wash.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, moving on. What's your name? Health and Human Services.
Jeremy, I already got the no button on, sorry.
Is that button's accessible to everybody? Oh, no. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. How's everybody today? Thanks for coming over. Okay, smooth transition, ready? Okay, so we brought to Human Services Committee, an application for Marshfield Medical Center, Lady Smith.
That gives much medical center, all of
As
them.
a whole,
Yeah.
okay? For, they had some granting available that we could do. So, that being said, we've run through Human Services to access grant funding. Kaylee was awarded that. And so in your packet, you'll see that the lead testing, the lead testing stuff. And so I'll just let Kaylee just kind of highlight what they did in relation to applying to that grant.
Basically, the grant was for addressing health disparities,
like you test, blood sugar for like a diabetic patient or something. Then if they're elevated, we refer them to their healthcare provider, and then they do a venous blood draw, just confirming, and then from there they can determine, you know, work on the next steps. Is there something in the household, like lead paint that needs to be remediated? Is there a parent working in an industry that's exposed to lead? We just kind of determine what needs to be done to correct it, because lead poisoning is very bad for children. It can cause all sorts of developmental delays.
So if there's a parent working in a, industry that they're getting lead poisoning, that can transfer to children?
Yes, like if they come home with it on their clothing, like if they're working in like some sort of metal foundry, like.
Where they have like the metal shavings or
Yep.
something maybe, okay.
Old toys, kids putting in their mouth, those kinds of things, there's all kinds of scenarios that.
Typically it's lead paint, but it could be like old pottery, like, you know, yeah, or if they're working like in some sort of like junkyard where they're supposed to like, their parents are working in that area and then come home. So this is kind of the first step to get the children tested. The state wants all children tested twice before their age, I think I wrote age 4 in here, but I think looking back it's actually age 6. But if they are WIC enrolled, that's one of the things WIC offers is they want them like tested when they're here so that they can make that referral if need be. And the state requires us to send in the results so that they can follow up on.
So is this a state requirement to test for lead, or is it a state recommendation?
It's like a recommendation that all children are tested.
So to their primary provider, or like a limited institution.
Yes, typically WIC is the first line, and then they send them on to the provider.
Probably should have started out with this, because I can say this is Kaylee.
Oh, sorry.
Jeremy Jacob, I'm the youth services director, representing.
So you
I
have
just let anybody in here.
Sorry.
But you're on a no list of not allowed.
Yeah, no fun list.
That's like Kaylee's here, just.
Just wanna drive by.
Banned list.
I was gonna say, there's three, you gave 3 examples here.
Yes.
I'm not familiar, only one I've ever heard of is Fisher.
Oh, interesting.
Well, because where I used to work at Chicago, we dealt with Fisher quite a bit. So I am familiar with Fisher, but I noticed that it's about double the cost of the other one.
Right. And I did call Magellan, the company, and find like who is a reputable company, because there's all sorts of random places you can buy it online. And these 3 were one they did, Fisher, Ryan, and Henry Schein.
What?
The Fisher company, Ryan Diagnostics, and Henry Schein were 3 that the actual lead company recommended as good places to buy it from.
And we're super comfortable with Ryan Diagnostics, because that was also recommended through other channels that Kaylee.
We have used them for quality control testing.
Is there much difference in the user-friendly?
No, it's the same machine, like from all 3 of them. It's the lead cure 2. It's just like a finger poke and 2 drops of blood. The biggest problem I guess is finding kids will.
Who has to do the test?
The WIC personnel are trained through WIC to do the testing.
So we have a registered dietitian as our WIC director, and then a competent professional authority is our assistant for 2 pages authenticity, most things for that, authentication. And so they're both do it.
So there's even no,
So
like
is this
the machine is covered by the
Yes,
grant,
the grant would cover
and then
both.
it's not going to be any additional cost, but it's already office visits they'd be having otherwise, the testing supplies will be covered by the existing funding.
Right, how much was it rated?
5,000, which we also are using some for WIC lending deposit, but that was for like.
So you do have.
So 100%.
100.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so which one?
Ryan.
Okay.
100% ground.
That's what I was hoping for, so.
Okay. We have a motion made and second. Approve, purchase of that, the Ryan lead testing machine. Grant funding. Any questions on it, discussion? Not all those in favor, signify by aye.
Alright.
Opposed, motion carries. We have it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you
Thanks
guys.
for coming over today.
Yeah.
Have a great rest of your meeting.
Okay.
Alright, we'll see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Kaylee and Jeremy, could you guys stick around just for this next one here?
Oh, yeah.
Should have said that.
Okay. Building and grounds.
The to you here. We talked to Kaylee and Jeremy, and they're putting the same, pretty much the same exact doors in the senior center down there. They're able to use grant funds to do this, project. Rice Lake Glass, which is the one, doing the ones down at the senior center there, gave me a quote, here for, $36,315.
Yeah, yeah.
$36,315. And then, we just figured an even 40,000 kinda, cause we're gonna have to have an electrician come in and hook it up and, probably IT with, the door, the access card and stuff. And that, but I believe that would all be, it will be grant funded.
Yes, I did check with my department at the state.
So we have a separate allocation through public health, ARPA allocation. Don't really need to use it for plow trucks. But we do have, creating and mitigating health disparity and access to care and those kinds of things. And so the ARPA allocation is going to be utilized for the senior center door, and it would be approved to use for the east entrance.
Okay, asked you this last month, is your ARPA, funding, same restrictions have to be used up by the end of next year, allocated by the end of next year and used by the year after?
I'm not sure 2 years by, I was thinking ours had to be
It might have to be done by 24.
by the end of next year,
End of
yeah.
24.
Like that has to be,
They don't have the allocation portion and then the completion portion. I think it's just, it needs to be done by next year.
And you have 40 days left in your ARPA fund balance.
yeah.
There's a lot of money in that allocation that's specific to public health.
And you guys got bid, you advertised for bid for that senior center, right?
Yes.
For there,
And we only
so
got
we would,
one.
okay, we would still need to do that for here, did you already do that for here?
Let's throw the RFP, I guess.
Yeah, and we had 3 people come and talk to us about it, but we only received 1 bid. And so, based on the process, you probably have to do that, but Rice Lake Glass and Door, I think was the one that did it before. No, were they the ones that did it before, the original?
Yep.
So, and they weren't returning this call to begin with, so we really just need to probably.
Yeah.
So I would, make a motion to, obviously we'll have to put it on for RFP, just for the, satisfy the ARPA.
And I don't know if it would be a full-blown RFP or just advertise for the bid. So that's something that we'll have to.
We just put it on that.
Either way, make sure we follow the financial procedures, I guess that probably goes without saying anyway, but I just like to, reiterate, and, to take up to 40,000, does that sound doable, out of the public health ARPA funding?
Okay. Thanks.
Super good.
Is there a second on that? Is there a second? Any more discussion? Not, all those in favor, signify by aye. Motion carries.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, for hospital project.
Good luck. I'm just gonna read to you what Jason had sent me here. Hey guys, sorry, here's the update. Please keep things limited to the newspapers as always. Keep all communication through me instead of TJ, unless it is on-site questions. Asbestos abatement, 80% completed. Hazardous materials removal will be 75% completed after this week. All roofing insulation is removed except for old 4-story building. For the next 3 weeks, we will continue interior demolition and hauling clean C and D to the landfill. We should have a good grip to start late December to start on exterior demolition. Our schedule will reflect the holidays and how much it snows. Our full-time guys have to plow snow first, then they will come to the project. We should be really getting after the exterior demo first part of the year, possibly to get started late December yet. So I believe in pretty good shape.
I see pictures, somebody had pictures posted with the Bobcat on the roof.
Yeah, they have a few of them.
I didn't see that.
Huh?
Bobcat on the roof.
They did.
Nice.
I mean, Bob, I mean, Bobcat and that kids year or
Yeah,
whatever.
skid steer, yeah, but still, that's, I don't know if I've seen a skid steer in a roof before, so.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, I'm not around that equipment as much, you've probably seen it all kinds of places.
I believe there is a issue with some PCB testing yet, some of the material. According to Haas, it's kind of a new test that the landfill has, made them do. So we kind of told them to get that taken care of. And, I guess worst case scenario would be a change order, possibly.
Okay. What are the boiler pump repairs? Or your tractor, I'm sorry.
I brought this to you guys last month and you just had to get it in, so, just giving you an update on it, we took it in. I had one of the guys go pick it up, he went to get it, and tractor wouldn't move. They said it was done, so it wouldn't move, so, we told them it wouldn't move. So they looked at it again, and then they called back, said it was done, we brought it back. It seems to be working okay, they just said, we're not gonna bill you yet, because we don't know exactly what's wrong with it. And that, so they flushed the system, so they just said, use it, and hopefully it's all good. And that, so,
There's no estimate on it even?
no, I haven't even got a bill yet for it. But, just so you know, I mean, we're gonna get that bill, and then, if anything else happens to it, I guess, here in the future here. Biggest thing is, we keep it inside all the time, we keep it in a heated area, so it should be fine. But if you, like, they let the park outside, and it'll start up, but it won't move.
Oh, I hear all that, it's just old.
Yeah. So they flushed it out and everything, but they didn't know exactly if that was gonna solve the problem. But as of right now, it's working, but it hasn't been cold.
Who is they?
Baraboo and Rice Lake.
Oh.
There's somebody in, Rusk County that does.
I took it there because that's where the tractor was bought from.
Oh, I got you.
How old is that tractor?
I don't know the exact year, but I would say 20 years probably. 15 maybe. It's a boomer.
Yeah, that was done in
I'm looking at our asset management. 2012,
2012.
that's the 3040.
Yep, it's a nice little tractor.
It was originally 65,000.
Boiler pump?
Okay, boiler pump, so I put this on there the last couple months here. We're kinda making it work right now, it's in limp mode kinda again. And that, I was waiting for a quote from Train. Train does our, annual service contract, we have a service contract with them. So he got me a quote, just the other day for the new drive. And that, the drive is, $4,469. And then, also while they were here, I had them, give me a quote for, switching out, some pneumatic valves and temperature sensors and stuff like that, in a problem area we have for heating upstairs. He gave me, when I first started here, back in the last August or whatever, he actually gave us a quote of, I think it was under $200,000 to, switch out the pneumatics in the whole building. But he just gave me a quote of, just doing the courtroom 1 is a problem child. We've had the heating valve shut off all year so far. And if I turn the valve on, it gets to be 88, 90 degrees in there. terrible. And when you get a bunch of people in the court, it gets so hot, trying at the right place where you want it hot, you know? And that, but, he gave me a quote to hopefully solve that problem of $15,150. And that would just isolate that area basically. And that,
You mean just the courtroom?
would be just basically the courtroom. There's an air handler up on 3rd floor, next to the bathrooms there. And then that runs over to the courtroom area there. And it kind of goes, I think it might even go to courtroom 2 a little bit, but it's courtroom 1 for sure. I believe we have plenty of money in our budget to take care of it.
That's just to take care of the courtroom, right?
Yeah, that's just an isolated area, cause that's our problem area. We get, well, last winter, it was every other day I get a call. Hey, it's way too hot in here. We'd have to go figure something out.
That's why you call it, put me on the hot seat.
But there's other areas, that system is so old that there's some areas in the courtroom that are 65 degrees. But there's some areas that are 88, you know. It's hard to regulate the temperature. Like Jamie's office is probably always usually warm because she's right below the boiler.
That's just cause all the hot air in that office.
Yeah. All those board members coming in to visit.
Yeah.
So, what are you asking for your?
I guess I just wanna approve these quotes because, I mean, this contractor has a service contract with us, a yearly service contract with us. I mean, it's their equipment basically.
That's,
Well, if it's a service contract, isn't that?
That's just an annual service contract for the program, for the heating program.
I was gonna say, you think some of that would be their expense.
So you're asking for the 4,469 for the new drive plus the 15,150 for the
Correct.
pneumatic valves, temp sensors, et cetera, for courtroom 1.
out of equipment, or?
Out of courthouse budget.
Correct.
And how much is it for that?
Well,
I believe there's about roughly 10% now, but, we'll be getting with transfers. I mean, last year we got hosed on transfers. We had like $140,000 that we lost out on. So I know we're gonna have roughly around $120,000 coming back to us here.
I don't
transfers.
think you're understanding the budget, like, it's, what they're asking is, do you have it budgeted for expenditures?
Well, we don't have it budgeted. This is unforeseen things. But I do know we'll have money in the budget after transfers come through.
But that's on the revenue side. Which line are you looking to take it out of, the contracted or public repairs? So there's $16,913.66 left in repairs from when we ran this report on December 1st. I don't know what they have for, pending invoices that aren't entered yet or received. $16,913.66.
I think it's safe to say that we for sure have money left for the new drive report for 69. Even if you haven't run a report in 8 days.
Well, I just don't know, what's out there for pending invoices that, maybe we haven't received yet or haven't been entered in yet, so that's where, that I don't know.
But in the overall grand scheme of things, though, we'll definitely have the money back with the transfers.
Basically, you're looking at about.
But you have to look at what you have budgeted for expenditures, so your total budgeted expenditures for 2023 are $728,343. When we ran these reports on December 1st, we were at $621,284.99, which that wouldn't include the payroll that just posted, this week, back to November. covered $7,058.01.
Do you know any places that aren't coming yet, that they don't have, or he just, would he normally see the invoice, or they just go back with you?
No, he needs to approve all of those.
Do you have any invoices that are approved?
In that line item, no, everything's pretty much, there's some out there. There's some out there yet, but.
How much do you think is out there at the moment? You see what Jamie's saying about the budgeted?
I know exactly what you're saying.
So like, if your budget says, we're gonna spend $1 million, it doesn't matter if $10 million came in, that's our spend as far as the budget stuff. But if we're working off the 107, 58, you know, we got our invoices hanging.
I just updated it, it's down to $87,224.68.
I think we got 10% left in our budget after the Sky just sent over or whatever, and I would say we'd be fine with that. I mean, so what's 10% of what our budget, probably $67,000 left in there then?
So, yeah, but we still have to do, I mean, nothing's been booked yet for workers' comp, so that's gonna be, you know, somewhere between 5 and 10,000. We still have 2 more payrolls that will hit the budget.
I was just trying to plan like,
Utilities
cause
are,
last year, you know, I kinda lost out on $140,000.
okay, but it's still based on expenditures, so you're not understanding.
I understand.
But you're not, you keep saying that you got hosed on it, but that doesn't have anything to do with your expenditures.
So the money the maintenance fund lost, basically.
Okay, well, forestry's not saying they lost $2 million.
When we budget for, expenditures, it doesn't matter what came in, according to your budget is what we work off of. Forestry has a pile of money that comes in every year, and it goes back to the general fund, because they say the same thing sometimes too. We bring in all this money, and then it disappears into it goes to the finance committee, pointing their finger at me and saying, and then it disappears into that hole. I get it.
I get it.
I get that part, but, we're working off that. So,
Business practices.
when we're heating that room to 80, 90 degrees though, we're also wasting a lot of energy. Right?
So why can't you approve one for this year, one for next year? 4469 for this year, and 50 for next year.
Well, they're not gonna both get done this year anyway. And can't leave it between now
Oh, no,
and
there's a
then.
6 to 8 week lead time.
So I'm saying it's gonna go into next year.
You can approve for 2024.
I'll make the motion.
2024.
You could approve it.
Chances are it's not gonna get done till then,
Well,
anyway.
would you could make it just approved, and if it doesn't get done till 2024, we can take it out of it. But if it gets, if somebody comes in and says, hey, I can get out there next week, there's no reason
Yeah.
to not, you know what I mean?
You can still bill it for 2024.
No, the expense has to hit the period that it actually happens, so if they come fix it this year, it'll be a
They're not
2023
gonna, but let's
expense.
say they come in and they're like, we can get to start working on the drive next week, there's gonna be money for that anyways. The chances of both of them happening is pretty slim anyways. So I would just approve it. If it happens in 2023, we take it out of 2023, if it happens in 2024, we take it out of 2024, but I don't think we're gonna have a budget problem.
Gary
Both of
already made a
them?
motion.
Was the motion for 2024?
Whenever it gets done.
Oh, so don't put it.
Don't do anything about what your budget.
Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Yeah, motion made and second. Any more discussion? Not all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That was for both of them?
Yeah. Out of county travel, what's this?
I put this on there, I have a OSHA 500 that I've had for, 15 years. And every 4 years it comes up, I gotta get recertified for it, I guess I was just asking, go to St. Paul in January to do that.
Did you, our insurance company offers a lot of, safety trainings and stuff. That might be one of them, because I just got emailed yesterday that they provide, MSHA training for like highway employees for free. So, Ashley has access into our insurance's, training portal. So I think we should maybe look to see if there's something through the insurance company where they would pay for it before.
I don't think they probably have that, that's about specialized training, but, like I myself I'm an MSHA trainer. I can train MSHA people too, it's pretty simple to get.
Did you, is that something they have to have highways and stuff?
Yeah.
Do the training for highways?
I don't know.
That's good,
Or does it show on the
They
insurance?
do it on the computer.
Yeah, but
So
we
that
might,
shows on the computer with the insurance.
no, the insurance is in person for the refresher training that they're offering for free, but I'm just saying that, before you register for this, just have Ashley look in that, insurance portal to see, cause she has access to all those courses, to see if there's something in there, that the
So-
insurance company would pay for.
Is that gravel, county gravel?
Yeah,
So,
That's
could we,
something to do online.
I don't know, and so that's why I'm just
so
saying,
can we approve pending if not offered by the insurance after, so approve the first check with Ashley, see if it's up or online, if it's not, then you.
This has gotta be in person, but, I mean, it's a 3-day event, but
and this is a requirement of your job.
it's just something I've had for 15 years, and, I think when I got hired, I kinda asked,
For recertification. He's been certified, but this,
every 4 years comes up for.
For OSHA, I mean, OSHA's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think we're subject to OSHA, because we're a government.
Everybody's.
It's different for us, we're actually, it's the Department of Public, Safety, DPS, Department of,
OSHA came out, a couple buildings of ours already.
right, cause they're, yeah, rented out, but, they're there to inspect the operations of those businesses.
So what,
Ashley would know.
so what, will this come out of maintenance budget then, if you, if insurance somebody doesn't have it, or is your training budget or something?
I think we do have a.
Depends on the department. Yeah, can I just,
If you are,
She said she's coming in, she'll be
Okay.
coming in.
well, she would know what's required, she's got a listing of all the safety trainings that's required for each department and what we're subject to. She's been working pretty closely with, what's his name, Dustin.
So should we wait till she comes in?
Would you know?
You know, postpone this till she comes in? I don't table. I'm gonna table till she gets in, till the end. Okay, use the gateway building for what?
I just put that on there, you know, we use it now, but you know, sheriff's department's got some evidence and stuff and everything over there in a couple areas there. And, I know it's convenient for them, but, you know, they got the Gates building over there. I was just kinda wondering if they could put their stuff over there and we can have a couple little areas, extra areas for extra stuff. We don't have really no heated area for,
did you tour dates?
extra stuff.
Did you tour dates?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of empty ones.
A lot of empty. I was telling you guys, which building?
Yeah.
You could land a ball, you know.
The gate
sure,
is one
it's
of
like-
the-
Flambeau Outfitters over there,
Yeah,
the back side of it.
but Gates Avenue got tremendous amount of
So the
space.
sheriff has a bunch of stuff in there too?
There's two rooms there that, you know, they got files and stuff and evidence. I mean, I don't wanna be I hope they're not mad I'm asking for it, but I mean, it would just be convenient for us to have a little bit, I mean, if we had,
Whose stuff is stored? Is it sheriff?
well, we got, the sheriff's got a couple areas, we have like salt and we have miscellaneous stuff there, but it's all piled up, it's stacked up pretty good.
I don't see any reason why the sheriff's stuff can't be put in Gateway, in Gates Avenue, I mean, because they already got it.
I mean, I think that they got the
across the road.
It's where
Prime
the,
Outfitters.
Oh, it's Slam
But Gates Avenue is.
Yeah, I know where that is. I just,
Maybe we should just have the sheriff stuff. Gates in the gateway.
Oh, you think it'll fit?
There's not a lot, those are a couple of cars, that you get a fence. Out at Gates, I mean, for the cars, you can get the fence up, you know, same thing they do in some of the other counties. It doesn't have to be heated inside a nice facility and all that, we
Well,
rent that site out to somebody.
They got some vehicles, you have really do both. Okay, but they don't need that old damn building.
When somebody looks, it really changes their opinion on what's happening over there.
Huh?
Once somebody actually takes a look, it really changes their opinion on what's happening over there.
yeah, but they're looking at a place for the ambulance and a number of other places.
No, they are, but the thing of it is, see, my impression is, their sheriff, they said, that's their private. Because they keep it locked up, they don't want anybody in there. And anytime somebody goes in there, they gotta be escorted.
It's
Let
huge,
in
isn't it, Tony?
Huh?
It's huge.
It's huge, but they, so, I mean, it's, because they got evidence.
On the sheriff's side?
I think there's some certain specs and parameters that they gotta follow though too.
Well, they said that they needed space for storing vehicles, but other counties don't store needed spaces, so. I would disagree with the,
They're what?
To build a ambulance.
On Methodist Street.
Yeah, he's got the funds.
You got what?
He's got the funds. Maybe
How
that's.
can you have the fund?
oh, but then it's only be able to use for an ambulance.
What about just on the avenue? You know, we got one ambulance store in the fire hall. We got one store right now, I think it's out at,
The RCTC garage.
yeah, out at GC Garage. And then you got two the vans. This would take a fair sized structure, put them in. And then what are you gonna do about quarters for that?
He wants to put that in there too.
Okay, so, you know, they're not talking about a cheap building.
Well, what if we use those ambulance dollars, it can really only be used for that, for ambulance. If we
Well, I
use
know.
those.
is it grant money or something?
It's levy. An ambulance levy.
Yeah, $750,000. The damage, that'd be $750,000.
Or 703 something, yeah.
Going back to the gateway, I'll make a motion to have the sheriff move the stuff out to the storage unit.
Okay.
They got that big building up there to put their files in, it's heated.
You got empty offices,
Yeah.
there's offices there, you know, they're just empty. You know, all kinds of room in that place.
On top of the main part, they just got a
How big
couple of
of a
vehicles on the
room
side,
is it?
and it's just like,
They got
it's
like
like, what are you planning to go in here?
Yeah.
25 areas maybe.
They're
They
like-
have room where you can get
Outside,
decent sized
eventually you're gonna get them out of there and downsize to something more in there.
You can put like pallets of salt and.
And it's gonna rent it out, right, no revenue on it.
Yeah, well, it's a proceeding basement, that's what they've been helping about.
Main thing is I don't have
But
no
they're
storage.
probably right. I mean, I even, I don't know, revenue is right, but they might be right, okay.
It all gets
Right
rotten.
in that aspect.
Isn't it all the sheriffs or some of it the city that's in that building too?
I'm not positive.
Sure.
Should I go grab one of them, just?
I know.
Not, but.
And they got a service to provide, but
It don't matter, they
they're
got
a
a
little excessive.
impound, they're sitting in their storage out there, they can take and move the stuff out there.
Yeah, there's gonna be costs associated with it, I mean, they're gonna have to pay somebody overtime to do all that, so that's,
Come out of the sheriff's budget to move their shit.
yeah, but,
You're gonna have to pay somebody overtime to move their stuff?
yes.
Why?
Do you want me to call Phil in here?
Phil is not, doesn't decide that.
No, but I'm just saying, he can tell you what all
Phil,
it would
he's
entail.
the office clerk over there, he can move it.
We went through
There's,
this year.
I mean, there might be some stuff with chain of custody and who's gotta, you know, I don't know how that part works.
All I know is there's a lot of, tremendous amount of rules. That gates
for it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's not room for it, I just don't know if there's other factors involved as to why they haven't.
Well, yeah, maybe we should ask them.
But they want to move what?
You wanna hear a
Gateway
story,
out there?
by the time we're done, it's gonna cost us $1 million by the time we're done.
Well, for as often as they have, for as often as
You'll
they
need
have,
a transfer vehicle.
for as often as they have to access the files over here, what's the difference where the deputy goes over there and accesses them there? Where maintenance has a hell of a lot more convenient for maintenance to be located in that space than it is for the sheriff.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, I just don't know if there's other factors. But,
Yes, you made a motion to move sheriff out of there.
Is there a second?
Move the sheriff out of the gateway building?
No, out of the.
Gateway.
yeah,
Gateway, into Gates Avenue, the storage stuff.
And what do they have in the gateway building? My question.
Bunch of files and stuff.
I mean, have they been consulted on it yet? I mean, I think that they should be able
By
to.
the time we consult them, they'll want 3 new vehicles and 7 new deputies.
Right, but if you
and
were,
it
if you were
costs us $1
moving any
million.
other department stuff, you would consult with that department before just to make sure.
And what would we use the space over there, gateway that they would be.
Storage for,
For maintenance.
For you?
For maintenance, yeah, whatever maintenance got. For those,
if your chairs,
Chairs,
salt.
Salt, I mean, right now, the area we got, it's pretty, well, we cleaned it up, but, it's pretty well overrun. If we had the extra area, it'd be nice, because there's a lot of times we have to throw away certain furnitures that probably could have been saved. And we have, yeah.
well, it just makes sense, it's close to the maintenance department. The sheriff don't access that stuff over there, how often does he access it over there?
They just got a lot.
And that I don't know how much they access it. I mean, they might have a really good reason of keeping it there, I don't know. And like I said, I don't want.
Is it locked back there?
It's locked, I know, we put some of, all Andy's stuff, I think you guys requested us to move it from up on the 3rd floor. And that's, so we put all,
Decibel and stuff?
we put all that stuff in there too.
When you say it's locked,
Yep,
you have to have a deputy over there?
Correct.
Do you wanna access it?
correct.
You do. So they got 2 security areas, then, you're trying to say? You can't.
I do have a key for that area, but I don't go in there unless somebody's with, there's a lot of, I think, confidential stuff, so.
Then it should be, you don't let anybody in over there unless they're escorted. It seems natural that it should be all out there, where it's secure.
I don't know if that, ladies,
Took 2 of them. There's 2 of them.
Ah, gonna come and gang up on us.
So what's going on?
so I'll get you up to speed here, and, please don't get mad at me. But,
I don't get mad at anyone.
so, it's the Gateway building out there, so I just asked possibly if maintenance could take over your 2 areas there, and your stuff could go to the gates, possibly.
Oh, that wasn't the information we got. We're here because you guys were asking us to take our stuff from Gates and put it in Gateway.
No,
the opposite.
I would actually be good with that.
Yeah, I know you would. That's why I thought you would spirit it.
I don't know,
I'm just kidding.
I know I want to get a second on that.
I don't know that that's an issue, I think we could, say it again?
Hey, I was waiting for Jeff to come on court.
So what they want us to do is take what we have in Gateway and put it out in Gates, so that maintenance can use that entire room.
Oh, yeah, so our little chicken coop area, we have to keep the record storage area though.
Well, I was hoping for both, if possible.
Why can't
Well,
you,
we could put a lock,
cause there's like the office buildings and everything over there.
but we don't, yeah, we don't use the office.
Well, you could, I
But
mean, it's in your secured area, right?
It's under our lock and key, but yeah.
So the stuff in the chicken coop area out there, there's some old, I think, light bars, Sometimes we get squad cars that take the back seats out, put cages in, those are out there. We have a rack of, extra uniforms, so we hire new people, we just give them one of those uniforms, their orders come in.
Yeah, I don't know why that's.
There's a huge safe out there.
But I think that belongs to.
That's us.
But no, I thought medical examiner had it.
No, we took it from the medical examiner, so we had to store drugs in there.
Okay, but anyhow, I don't know that it would be a real huge issue. We just have to figure out the secure part for the.
Yeah, no, it's not, I don't think it's gonna be an issue, I'm just trying to think about where that stuff's gonna go. So there are those two, were you out there last week with? Yeah. Those two rooms
How much room is out there coming?
out there where that wrestle net was in there,
Yep.
that stuff could go in that room. We would have to make sure that it's,
Well, there's that, right by the bathrooms on the north end of the building there. Comes out, the only door comes out into our area.
Right.
I just think we could use that for our records, cause that can be locked.
those back rooms can be locked too.
Well, they can, but, so yeah,
We could figure it
that
out.
could happen.
Maybe.
And how soon?
How often, how often you
2027?
over here?
I'm in Gateway at least a couple times a month.
A little inconvenient, but we could live with that.
I just think it'd be a lot more convenient for maintenance department, cause they're right here anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely room in gates for us to
Tony,
do that stuff.
Tony, for you, we'll do it.
You gotta help us move all the crap.
Yeah,
We'll,
we'll,
maintenance
You
of-
got a minivan
Tony's helping
here.
with the
You
stuff.
got a
maintenance will help,
minivan.
will help.
yeah, we'll pick a day or two and, well, we're gonna go over and figure out what we wanna do with everything.
Coordinate it with, Gary.
Yeah.
The motion is to have the sheriff and Tony hold their.
Hey, Tony, we'll sit and drink coffee and tell him what to do with it.
Yeah. Just make sure you bring me a wheelchair.
Right. So, yeah. Yeah, that can happen.
Well, we had a motion made, is there any second to that? I'll second.
Everybody's looking at you.
Gary,
Bill just did.
is there a way for maintenance then to move all that shelving in our record storage room out to gates?
Yeah, we'll make it work.
That gets him more space.
Yeah, but
He's gonna help.
we have all the wooden shelves built that the boxes fit in.
We'll make it work, and if we have to rig something up over at Gates there to,
Cause a lot of those boxes are permanent retention, homicides and that kind of stuff that have to stay secure.
Permanent, so you got like 1,000 years from now, they're still in storage.
So like there's
And you'll be taking care of them.
There's
Just not,
between-
not in 1,000 years.
between 10 and 15 crimes where it's permanent retention. So like missing person, homicide,
I suppose, cause they're more like cold case stuff,
Yeah.
that's never got closed.
all sexual assaults. So we have boxes and boxes of permanent retention cases. So, yeah,
Okay.
you can find it.
Scan it.
We'll talk next
Scan it.
Well, we can, but there's also a lot of CDs, a lot of, electrical things, from back in the day when we clicked the button to listen to someone talk, all that stuff's in there too. Original pictures, like all the original stuff that keep those things. So,
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
we have a motion made and seconded. Roll call on that? All in favor, signify by aye. Opposed?
Howdy. How you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ashley, Gary's got an OSHA training that he wants to attend, and I was talking that, about the MSHA training that we discovered yesterday that the insurance company offers for free. I didn't know if there's anything along those lines, and that you also have the listing of what trainings are required, what we're required to stay in compliance with. So I just thought you should be part of that conversation.
Right, so what exact training are you looking for?
OSHA 500, my recertification.
Okay, and that's needed for,
It's something I've had for 15 years, and I just like to keep it. Kind of comes in handy for the courthouse
before we commit county funds to paying for a training, I'd like to make sure that it's required for the job. Also, as Jamie mentioned, through the county mutual, we have, access to free trainings, and I'd like to check on that listing as well.
Question was brought up too, is OSHA the governing, does OSHA have jurisdiction with county?
So we are
property?
subject to DSPS, and
And
our,
OSHA doesn't do anything, they couldn't even come in here then.
well, they can, but DSPS, Jane,
Anywhere where there's tenants, they can come in.
so Jane from DSPS, I think would be a good resource. She is who comes and checks our injury logs, she is who mandates the training. So for instance, we were audited in the forestry department, Jerry, you probably remember this, we did fantastic. That's DSPS who comes in and looks at our trainings, not OSHA.
And OSHA has jurisdiction, or they don't have any jurisdiction, like they can't do anything to us, I guess is the question.
Right, so they would have jurisdiction, as Gary said, over tenants in our building.
Okay, so only over, basically joint management buildings with the tenant or something.
But if we own the building, that would again be DSPS.
So you want time to check this out first?
Yeah, I'd like a listing of what trainings are needed to see if we can get them for free through the county mutual.
He's got the date on here listed as, January 23rd to 25th.
Is there a sign up date by a certain time on that?
It usually fills in, last time I did it, it filled up pretty quick, there's only 30 spots.
How many?
30 spots.
I mean, if we checked on that and needed approval quickly, we probably always go on too.
And how many, is this a 3-day training?
Correct.
He's got it listed for,
So yeah, it's less than 3 days, or if it's longer than 3 days, fine.
So then the question is, is it advantageous for us to simulate training, for that being that there is, obviously if county, if the insurance offers it, it wouldn't be advantageous to us anyway, because we'd save money by using the free service. But then the second question is, required or not, is it advantageous to have the facilities manager up to speed on OSHA requirements for dealing with buildings that, some buildings that could come under their jurisdiction, where we have tenants?
And I would think you would want that.
I would think so. If we had no buildings that could come under the jurisdiction, I would say, yeah, who cares? But even if it's not necessarily in the job description or requirement, I don't think the training's a bad idea, so that somebody understands that.
well,
In case OSHA would ever come in.
I
or we
would
have
say,
something happen, to avoid OSHA, basically.
I would say pending, whatever. Yeah,
We could approve seeing if the insurance company will cover it, then he does it through the insurance company, and if not, then one is approved or something.
I'd imagine, I'm fine with that, but I'd imagine that OSHA 500 is more specialized than what the insurance is gonna offer. I mean, they're gonna offer probably OSHA 10s and OSHA 30s. But the 500 is a little more advanced, I guess.
But that is the OSHA 500 necessary for you to do your job well there, whereas the OSHA 10 or OSHA 30.
Well, so I have OSHA 10 and I have OSHA 30 already, and I have OSHA 500. So OSHA 500, you can teach, you can give OSHA 30s and 10s.
But is there anybody here that we can teach you? If the insurance company already offers it, I would guess not.
What I'm saying is just, yes, the insurance company probably offers something, but I doubt if they offer a OSHA 500 or OSHA 502 certification.
So, but as far as for you being able to do your job out at the buildings that come under the OSHA jurisdiction, OSHA 500 may not be, necessary.
It may not be necessary, but, I mean,
If he has the certification now, he doesn't wanna lose it.
My horse piece on this. Where is it today? I don't have a problem with extra training, I think you can't have too much training either. And I know.
Cause you know the mess you guys get in.
What's that?
You know the mess you guys get in over there with OSHA.
That's why.
Well, it's a lot different there too, because there's a lot of industrial
Right.
stuff going on where there's not much in the courthouse or wherever.
No, but if you have
I know. So, whatever your pleasure is.
Jerry, you have the final thought? I'll go with what Terry says. Remember last time when you had to vote? Neither of us deciding factor.
I think. I'll make a motion to approve it if it's a county required.
and not offer through.
But, so, just remember, and I don't care which way we go on this, I'm not like I said, but county requirement, we do send people to training that's not necessarily county requirement, it's okay, you're gonna educate yourself in this specific field, so I'm not, I don't wanna limit, if that's, I don't want that to be the reason. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's not necessarily the deciding factor, and yes, we made all our decisions by that, which I don't think we should, because there's training that, there might be something in finance where Jamie might just gain more knowledge that might help keep us out of trouble, or, save us money, you know, learn more about grants, and it might not be required, but, advantageous.
You're still gotta work fast.
So what I have is to approve training is a county requirement and not on county insurance.
Yeah, I guess I'd be more comfortable with, if it was, we either decided it was a good idea or not based on it being a requirement. I don't wanna go down that path with all the trainings. I'm okay with yes or no, but I would say, you think it's their advantage or not their advantage?
Was there money in the budget for that?
I don't know if there's specifically a training line in the maintenance budget, but just a second.
What now?
I don't know if there's specifically a training line in the maintenance budget, but like, let me listen just a second.
So what would come out of then? It's not. Needs to come out of the budget somehow?
There's $2,000 for this year, let's see what's budgeted for 2024, so there is a maintenance training line.
There is?
Yeah, so there's 2,000 budgeted for 2023, and let me just go to 2024.
I think this is January.
In other words, there's money in there to pay for it, no matter what.
Do you
There's
have,
2,000 budgeted for 2020.
do you have other training or other people in the department that do training?
I'm gonna have some miscellaneous.
Yeah, cause this is gonna
stuff, but
take
Sounds
up
like
that whole, cause where's the training at, St. Paul, so you're gonna have to add mileage into that, that would get charged to training, so, yeah,
Oh, you don't have it.
you're talking
Well, yeah, but he's gonna stay overnight, so he's only gonna have mileage.
2 nights, right?
Well, what I'm saying, he's
Right.
only gonna have mileage one way,
So you're gonna have another $150 to mileage added to that, yeah.
My gonna say it's gonna cost $400.
Which would mean there'd be $800 left for training.
Right. What other training do they do?
How much have you spent this year?
I usually do, I think I had an airport seminar.
And that was my charge to airport, so this, so only $363 for 2023.
That's been charged so far.
Because, Justin's has been charged to, insurance for, 2023, and then we have a, insurance company, so, there may be additional costs if, we don't renew with Dustin if we have to do other trainings outside of that, but.
But this is gonna cost $400. Well, we have anybody on the email motion? Is there a second?
Well, I thought Phil was amending it. Well, this is specific to approve the training if it's a county requirement and or not. But that's what he was taking out. Or not offered to the county's insurance. But it was the county requirement part of
Yeah,
the meeting.
I would, do we have to have that second? Or I can make a motion to amend?
Need a second. Actually, need a second to be discussed.
Or you can let this one fail and just make a motion. Okay, I'll second Jerry's thing so we can get moving on
Okay.
here,
Yeah.
and then you can amend it.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to amend the sake of it being a county requirement. And like I said, if we don't think it's advantageous, I don't care if we vote no, but if we're gonna do it, I think it should be based on, it's to our advantage or it's not to our advantage.
Okay, so we have a motion made, second.
It still has to not be
We have a
offered to
motion
the county,
to amend it.
through the county insurance, that first statement there.
Is there a second to that? Second. Okay, we have a motion made, second to amend.
A motion to exclude, take out.
Yeah, to take out the, if it's a county requirement.
Okay, there you go. Would you like a roll call on this one?
But you can, do this as amended,
Or as amended.
what is amended.
Oh, we got
Or
a
well, we gotta vote on the amendment.
No, we got a vote, it's approved amendment.
That's right.
So, any more discussion? All those in favor of amending the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, so
Now
it's
you-
basically,
So it's up to you now.
I know.
The chair.
Yeah, I get personal thoughts on that one with that insurance. I'll vote yes. Amen. Now we need a vote on it to, on the original or on the amended motion.
Read the amended motion.
Sorry, Connie.
If it's to approve the training, if it's, do I take out county requirement?
Yep.
Yes, is to approve the training. If it's not offered through the county's insurance.
Okay, I got that right now. That's the original, that's the amended motion.
That's the amended motion.
Okay, are you ready to vote? Wanna vote on it, Jerry? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Not supposed to go fast.
Yep, we'll make you vote last.
Suspense is killing me.
Mr. Henry? Yes. Mr.
Yes.
Miller?
airport, I had, the VOA come out, on, Tuesday to do a pavement inspection. Obviously on Tuesday morning, we had about a half to 3/4 inch of snow, so I had to get the plow out and I had to plow the runway and stuff so they could look at it. That's in the process. They're gonna do this year, or 2024, they should be planning on doing the main runway. The secondary runway does not qualify for funding, and so the main runway should be all done with chip sealing, crack sealing. Should be all good. I know the pilots, some of the gaps in the joints are, 3-4 inches wide, and some of the pilots are worried when their front tire hits that the propeller could hit the ground and it could, well, go by the fast. That would probably be serious, rather. Yeah, so they're, SEH, the BOA, which is the state, they hire out SEH, which is the engineering firm, and they take care of all the bidding and getting the contractor out there. Typically, they say it's gonna be either Farner asphalt or Struck and Irwin, which, whoever comes out there, there'll be a very good improvement in that.
So they're paying for all that?
They pay for all of it except for 5% the county has to pay.
And this was chip sealing or what?
It's gonna be chip sealing, seal coating, chip sealing, and crack sealing. And it's, I think it's called emulsion or something, I believe. And it's not just like it's not like when you go out to the black cup or parking lots out here and just do that, or like on the.
Yeah, is there anything kind of a price estimate on that, or?
It'd be 5% of whatever, so I mean, whatever we have, I was able to obtain all that extra money that we lost over the years,
Does it give it back? Or they're gonna give it back?
They give most of it. I don't know about 100%, but most of it. And then, they're doing a land acquisition yet here, I mean, we have like $400,000 for that. So eventually, whenever we get that, purchase that land, we'll be able to put a 5,000-foot runway out there. So then we can have, if we need like, if a big jet or a bigger plane, we need a charter plane or something.
That's on the main runway?
Correct.
But how are you? Where are you gonna get the land from? I heard the landowners are.
Well, if they don't sell it, they're just gonna take it.
Damn it.
So like, when our people, or, or people flying, they fly in the right site, because, you can't land here and get paid for it. Some do with the smaller jets, but.
What's the length of the runway now? 4,000, so they're gonna increase it by 1,000.
Isn't it? 4,001.
So you're gonna increase it by 1,000.
And I'm sure that would be.
Where's the land's coming from?
All you're getting is just,
Van Dorn.
the land available.
It'd be like the next 40 over, or whatever.
East, 40 east,
We have enough,
southeast.
we have enough land for a runway, we just don't have enough land for the specs and the for takeoff and all that, tops and stuff like that.
You have to have obstacles clear.
Yeah, it's a certain amount of ground clearance. But it's gonna come out of that, I know exactly where it's talking about.
So when's that supposed to?
Well, I haven't
2
done,
years?
it was supposed to have been done already, but, they haven't given me an update yet. It's in process.
The runway goes kind of northwest, southeast, that main runway. The only way they can extend it is through the southeast. There's no way they're gonna go northwest, because that's the runway into the lake.
Correct.
Yeah, the runway is like really close to the river there.
So, you're talking
there's, you've gotta go through like all these procedures in order to be able, you have to get the project approved in order to be able to spend it, and then,
But
and
they-
I've only,
But they do most of it though.
Yeah.
You just gotta get started.
and I was on one call with them where it's like, yeah, you have this allocation every year, but not everybody spends their allocation every year, so then another airport that has a big project going on,
Back into the pool.
yeah, they get to utilize your allocation, so that when we do have projects that we need extra allocations for, then we get extra allocations from them. So yeah, we did lose it last year, but the idea is that
We get it
there
back.
will be funds available when we do have projects to do.
And now they're coming out.
And as we found out with this equipment and stuff, like sometimes, it takes a lot of time for,
Well, I mean, look at, the weather, system out there, the AWAS.
Yep.
It's, for years now, we've been like, okay, we're gonna replace that, then it was, you're a year out,
And
for a
that's,
couple months, and then finally it was like, well, we need to know the ceiling, so finally they decided to put a ceiling meter in there, and they're gonna do some nifty things.
And it sounded like they're gonna get a full replacement in 2025.
Yeah, believe it when I see it.
And then, I know with.
Next year, you'll tell me, yeah, it sounds like we're gonna get a full replacement in 2026.
Yeah. It sounds like, with talking to the head guy out there, it sounds like there was a lot of, just things weren't lined up.
You can get the fuel master to work out there and,
No.
Yeah, that was like a monthly update for the month.
Yeah, I took it off there because I was getting embarrassed.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, we're still working on it.
okay, so with this, land acquisition or condemnation, really, when is that supposed to happen?
Well, it was supposed to happen already, so I'm waiting for an update, so.
Okay.
So anyway, what about the poop runway pictures?
So, at the airport there, the runway lights, they're very expendy lights. They're back ordered, they're very hard to get. Around $8,500, I need to replace 15 lights, fixtures, the LED Arctic ones, but, I wanna buy 25, so I have 5 extra of each on hand, and that, but it's around $8,500, and I guess I'm just asking your approval for me to purchase them. If I purchase them now, I probably won't get them, I don't know if I'll get them till spring.
Does that come out of the airport budget, or is that paid for by FAA?
It would have to come out of the airport budget.
yeah, which there's, I mean, money, and we budget, I'm not looking at the 2024 budget, but there's 20,437 budgeted for 2023, there's still 4,000 left from, the 23, which it kind of must be 24, but.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the purchase of those LEDs for cost of $8,500 for 25 units. No discussion? Not all those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Authorized septic repair.
I just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. I think you guys probably might have known about it before I was even here. I think CC did some repairs to that tank, maybe 2 years ago, but, we've had to pump it 3-4 times in the last 4 or 5 months. And, so something's leaking into it. We're monitoring it, and, we put some food coloring in it, and just seeing if like the toilets or anything was leaking in, and it wasn't really coming from the toilets. Yeah, so I think it's, maybe has a crack in the tank or the riser, or maybe the seal's not good. I think that's what CC did.
Yeah, when
Before.
Charmaine and I
somebody, from what I heard, is somebody hit it with a plow at one time, so I think that's probably before.
Yeah, that's what makes sense based on how that cover was when you, yeah. Cause it's kinda like right in that parking lot, you know, when you pull into the parking lot, it's to the right, kind of between that, the maintenance, or the, hangar one and the, terminal.
Mom, it's time to go.
Area around it or post or something?
I'm gonna put a couple bollards in there, and that,
Who's gonna have a look at it?
we're just gonna monitor it for now, and we might even dig it up a little bit, in the spring. I think it'll be fine for the winter. The winter be a bit better.
If it is a riser tank, about once it freezes.
Yeah, and that's, I just,
But in the spring, it's gonna leak a bunch.
yeah,
As soon as everything melts.
so I just wanted to bring it
You
here.
might be able to, if it's leaking in a tank, in the spring, when everything starts melting, you might be able to lift the lid, you might be able to hear, stuff dripping in there if it's leaking. Especially since if it's something tank related, there's a good chance it's a riser, right? I mean, at least a 50% chance you're fine.
Okay, moving on then. We're down to insurance and county cars.
So you guys have the reports there, we're still waiting on a check to come in for a truck, but, I was told that that was going out this week for 16,000. Recently came to mine and Ashley's attention that we have an underground storage tank out at the hospital, so we are working on trying to get insurance on that. But so far it's not going great.
What was the underground storage tank used for?
Fuel oil?
So it's a kind of a big deal.
But since, yeah, we're just having trouble getting a company to underwrite it, based on the current situation, so hopefully we can maybe get, they are, but right now it's still there. So,
Once you pick it up, you know what to do.
right, so,
Self-contamination or whatever.
yeah. Other than that, just, still working through all the renewals for 2024, just sent the volunteer insurance renewal off today. Yeah, and, last month I had reported that I think that the workers' comp is gonna go way up, but actually I think we might be, it might go, it's going to go up for 2024, but for 2025, we might still be okay. Because it's based on when the actual incident occurred, not when we're having to pay out the expenses, so those high cost ones that caused it to go up for 2024 should make it come down for 2020. That's all I have.
IT, Gary, Jim?
Just kind of a project update, I guess, Jim gave an update, yesterday in personnel. Just the projects are for the most part wrapping up, but, I think everything's kind of on track, just a couple contractors, couple subs need to work together here a little bit more to get everything completed. I think everything's probably up to speed with where we need to be.
Okay, anything else? Actually,
Okay, so are we on the agenda now?
Yep.
Okay, so back in October of 2022, the judge came to you guys saying that she was having connectivity issues, and was unable to sign e-warrants, at her residence in the overnight hours if a warrant was necessary from the sheriff's office. So you approved, her buying a phone with hotspot capabilities. And in your motion, you said that the MiFi had to come off the plan then. Earlier this summer, she was having connectivity issues again. So, I asked IT to please work with her and figure out what was going on. They gave her a tester MiFi and repeater, and that seemed to fix the issue. But I never really heard anything after that, and then it came to our attention that that MiFi device was back on the Verizon bill. Which is in direct conflict with that motion that you made, because right now there is a phone and a MiFi being charged to circuit court. So this committee needs to figure out if you're going to amend your motion from October 2022 to allow the circuit court to have those two devices, or how you wanna move forward with this.
Well, what's the recommendation? And leave it the way it is now, or go back to the way it was?
I personally don't understand why both a phone with a hotspot and a MiFi are needed. No one else in this building has both. Also, the usage on the MiFi is incredibly high.
Expensive.
The data usage is head and shoulders above what anyone else uses for data. So that's kind of odd, I think.
Like it's not being used for the
Just
stated purpose, yeah.
I believe she's not using the cell phone or the hotspot, from what I know, just because it doesn't work at her house. And I believe that,
That runs up a Verizon service, so it should be.
I think she's got AT&T or something, and,
The phone is Verizon because it's a county phone.
yeah.
And the hotspot is as well, so they're running off the same towers.
From my understanding is she's not even using the cell phone or the hotspot, I believe. And MiFi is the only thing that actually works out there at the house, and my understanding is that saves the county money, otherwise the sheriffs have to kinda, I believe she had talked to you actually about this situation. And that, saves actually the county money, because otherwise the sheriff's department has to have 2 officers, put a guy in a holding cell or whatever, and then come out and get a warrant, go out to their house and get a warrant.
Well, the former judge came into the courthouse to sign warrants, so I would a little bit disagree with that.
I don't mind giving her access to e-sign, I guess.
What's it cost?
But a phone that has hotspot, and I wonder, maybe she doesn't understand too, just a thought, is, and I'm not sure what else Bella is talking about, but if she has the MiFi, chances are she's setting it somewhere where there's reception, where maybe on her phone she thinks, hey, I can have it down here and do whatever on it. You gotta recognize if you're using it as a hotspot. Same thing with reception, try putting that in the same spot where you have I would go down that route first. Then obviously the meetings are signed into that home, I don't have an issue with it, but I do have an issue with paying two devices instead.
And I believe she's not using the hotspot, I believe the Wi-Fi is the only thing that has worked out there.
Which is a hotspot.
In reality.
That's all that is a hotspot, it's the exact same thing as your phone.
What's it gonna cost you for the MiFi?
They're each about $40-45 a month.
For the MiFi?
Yes, yep, so like there's a phone and the MiFi, and they're like each between $40 and $45 a month. So it's $80-some each month that's hitting.
Oh, you mean for both of them?
Yeah, and that's just the one, that's just the hotspot that you're looking at there.
And there's a phone charge in addition to that?
Yes, yep, so it's basically double that. Well,
I use my hotspot, I pull over the side of the road and use my hotspot when I work calls in.
From what I was told is it doesn't work for her, MiFi is the only thing that works.
MiFi is hotspot.
I get what you're saying, but that's what I was told. I don't know if it's something, do we call her and let her explain herself, kinda like we did the sheriff's department, I guess?
Good, but I mean, we're only gonna pick one place.
and it was never brought to her oversight committee.
I say send to them.
Justice Youth Extension referred this to you. Yeah,
No recommendation.
it was caught on the bill. Well, the recommendation is she doesn't need 2 devices.
So,
Yeah.
The recommendation is what?
To bring it here because
why did we go with the phone, so?
it was caught
A
on.
MiFi
I'm
trying to
Yes.
think, it's been a while.
She came here
I
because
remember.
she wanted a phone to be able to more conveniently sign the warrant.
Yeah, because on the phone, she can actually physically sign the warrant.
Well,
Because then she can do it if she's not at home. So then I was like, well, you could take the MiFi with you and then be able to do that. But she didn't want to do that, so then the recommendation was that, well, you know, if you have a phone with a hotspot, then you wouldn't need the MiFi as well.
So she
So-
kinda needs a phone, then, if she's gonna have hotspot, she needs a phone. Or could we
Right.
just go to just the MiFi?
Well, it could just be, I think it could be one device. and she
Cause
could-
if the MiFi is working and the phone's not working for her anyways.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
that's not an issue, I just don't wanna have two devices for hotspot to only have, to only use one of them.
Right, and that's why this issue is.
I believe she needs the phone, but the hotspot doesn't, which I don't know why. The hotspot on the phone doesn't work, but the MiFi works, you know.
But then she needs a phone.
She needs the phone, I think, for signing warrants, and that's the reason why she asked. for
Wi-Fi.
But they're going off the same tower, so I guess I don't understand.
So what do we ask?
So you can use your phone as a MiFi, correct?
It's called a hotspot when you
Use it as a hotspot and you have to do the same as you would using MiFi. It's the same concept. But it's just turning that button on your phone. To put it in the window.
And the other thing is, I found on my phone, if I keep my hotspot on all the time, it doesn't connect. I have to actually shut the hotspot off and turn it back on, and if you're signing 2 warrants a month, just turn it on when you need it.
Right, but based on the usage, it's being used for more than just that.
Which,
So
I mean, we're not getting charged for usage, so if they're using something they got, I don't really care too much, I guess.
I don't know for sure, but I mean, is it coming out of her budget? I mean, is that a question? I mean, it's covered by her budget. Doesn't matter.
It does, because just because I had budget money, it doesn't necessarily make it's rice, using funds. You know, I mean, just because we budget, if somebody can come in under budget, that's what we wanna shoot for, you know, we only wanna spend necessary funds, right? If it's not necessary, we don't wanna spend money just to spend it, because we have the money.
I think from my recollection, from listening to the whole situation was that she was actually saving and helping the county, otherwise you're gonna have to pay officers who.
By having one, possibly by having one hotspot, but by having 2, we're not saving.
Yeah, well, I don't think she needs the phone, but I don't think she needs the hotspot. I don't know if you save any money if you take away the hotspot, I don't know.
Well, if you're gonna have a phone, you might as well have the hotspot. And it works for everybody else, if they're both Verizon, I think maybe there's a technical issue that she's not understanding, that maybe you get bugs work with her on to help her figure out. Like I said, my hotspot, if it's left on, I can try to connect, and it's not gonna work, I gotta shut it off. It's not that big a deal, but you gotta shut it off, you gotta turn it back on, you gotta reconnect it. But with the amount of usage down there, I'm guessing maybe she leaves it on, which is fine, but just realize that once in a while, you might have to shut it off, turn it back on, connect it. And the other thing, like I said, she might not understand too. I'm just guessing that I'm younger, she's probably not quite as tech savvy, but if you have your phone down here and have the MiFi over there, you very well could be getting way better reception from the MiFi device. Realize you got a place where you know you got good reception, and your phone is your hotspot, you would want to put your phone in the same place. I wouldn't be highly surprised if it was more of a user understanding. If Tony was here, I would say the same thing, I would say Tony probably doesn't, I would just tell him that it was operator error. He's not the most tech savvy, and I'm not saying she's not, but she might not understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
What's that?
Yeah. I'm operating on battery, you know.
I get what you're saying, Phil, I just telling you what, I kinda know what she told me, and that's, the hotspot wasn't working for her, and the MiFi was the only thing that has worked in the past, and it works now.
So what's your pleasure? So I'm gonna make a motion on this?
If she wants to come down and say if she'd rather prefer the MiFi or the whole,
I don't know if she's in court or not.
Otherwise.
I'll make a motion to back just so. Yeah, they do the same thing.
We have a motion made. Jerry, is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Roll call, all in favor? Opposed?
What was that then again, just, so I can tell her?
We're gonna get rid of the MiFi. And just use the hotspot.
So can you make sure Bugs gets that removed?
Phone and hotspot.
Now if she says, hey, I'd rather have the MiFi than the phone, that works better, I wouldn't care if she came back next month and said, they can swap. You know, I'd rather have MiFi, I don't need the phone. But, the chance of the two devices, I'm not involved with this.
I have a feeling she's gonna come back, but she's gonna come back with, she needs the phone and the Wi-Fi, you know what I mean, but.
Yeah, I mean, she can explain, what exactly her
But, yeah.
hotspot isn't working on her phone too, at that point, if she has issues with the phone too, I mean.
She'll be able to explain it better.
Yeah.
But that MiFi needs to come back off the plan.
Okay, we need a motion to approve both bills.
So is, sorry, Tony, so is that Wi-Fi, is that the one she originally had, or is that the one IT lent her? Cause IT lent her theirs, I think.
It's the one that's being charged to that budget right now, so it's a different number than was originally there, but there was never approval for it to go back on the plan.
Cause I believe IT had one that lent her used one.
Okay, yeah, the one that's on there now needs to come off the plan, cause it was never approved.
So the one from previous that she had before.
Well, it's a different phone
Yeah.
number than what was on
So
before,
right
but
now, the only thing she can have is a phone with hotspot, there's no MiFi there. And like I said, she may come back next month, have more discussion on it.
Well, she requested to put it on the agenda.
But yeah, it should go to her
And- and-
oversight committee first.
Right, and that's fine, I mean, maybe there's something I'm missing too, but, with the information I have, it's, it doesn't seem fiscally responsible to have two devices with a hotspot.
Okay. Last thing left is approve the bills.
How much motion to pay the bills?
That question number one, again, I brought it up before. Salt. Is there a reason why we're getting it in the bag?
Well, you need it in the bag. Otherwise, the highway cell phone will get rid of ice at certain temperatures. Remember, we talked about it personnel and as we get later, said, bags as well.
Any other questions on the bills? Your second. He made the motion, he seconded. I'll second it, let's get out of here.
He gets a half a second there.
No.
We gotta vote on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now let's go to the all be gone. Whatever. Hopefully it'll be gone.
January 12th.
Twelve to 8:30. Okay.
I forwarded her email to me to her.
Who were you working with?
Crystal. I said, we've already got a signed contract. What do we need this?
But I could.
Bring these to come forward on the 19th. Are you going to the 24th? Okay. So.
No.
Well, yeah. Yeah, you can put Jerry.
You haven't seen her since last year, I bet. Oh, thanks, Steve. Oh. No, if you look at the
So why don't you guys sign? What? Right, so what?
I'll bring it, I'll take it to the finance and by then I'll get Tony's signature on Thursday. So I'll get your signature on Thursday if we, if Ashley figures out that we can't get the signature, okay?
Whatever, if we do anything, I don't
Right,
know.
so action item. Wait, no, you need to take that.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll pass a card to.
Tony, you want to?